Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. National Magic. Daily Check-In, specializing in Thunder. Chapter 81. At this moment, the 7th level Magisters, except for the strange young man Li Mo. The remaining 6 will attack Lu Ning. Their purpose coincides: kill Lu Ning first, and then snatch the 2 sequence magics from him. Aren't the seniors afraid that Tianan College will settle accounts afterwards? Lu Ning looked at the 3 human Magisters and suddenly shouted. The 3 human Magisters are the evil young man Li Mo. Although this person's background is unclear, his strength is strong and he is not an unknown person. The other is a 7th rank Magister from the northern province of the Yan Empire, named Zhang Hong, who is an honorary advisor to a small guild in the northern province of Zhen. The last one is from the Huang Empire, named Guan Gang, who is a wanderer. The temptation of sequence magic is too great. Even Zhang Hong, who is also from the Yan Empire and has no obvious backer, still dares to attack Lu Ning. Hearing Lu Ning's words, except for Li Mo, the other 2 hesitated subconsciously. And the other 4 7th rank aliens were not so easy to talk to. The 4 alien races are from the demon race, the snake human race and the feather race among the subhuman races. Among them, there are 2 demon clansmen, both are male, and they look exactly the same, maybe they are twins. The big brother's name is Ariang, and the younger brother's name is Ariang. Lu Ning doesn't know much about the demon race, but once twins appear from such alien races, there must be some special joint moves. This can be said to be the common sense of races with the power of blood. Human boy, go to hell. Hian let out a loud shout. He wouldn't talk nonsense with Lu Ning, and even wished that the 3 high-level human beings would not make a move. This way he will be able to take the first shot and benefit. Thunderbolt. At the moment of Ji's attack, Lu Ning directly used Sikong Zhen's ultimate move. Thunderbolt. Suddenly, Lu Ning's body was bathed in endless and bright thunder. Destiny added. Lu Ning looked down at the back of his right hand, and a golden mark suddenly appeared on it, and then the golden light burst out, turning into a golden streamer and covering his whole body. Blink of an eye. A set of majestic golden battle armor was worn on Lu Ning's body, even his head was tightly protected. Is this the sequence magic armor of destiny that exists here? Boy, it's a waste to give it to you. Seeing the armor of destiny, the lustful look in Yi's eyes was not concealed. Dark Realm. With a grin on the corner of his mouth, he released a dark magic circle in his right hand. In just an instant, the entire world was completely shrouded in darkness. A strange force field enveloped Lu Ning. Negative states such as corrosion, slowness, weakening, blindness, and deep sleep are now crawling all over Lu Ning's body like substantial living creatures. Lu Ning's first reaction was naturally to use the evil god's lightning to break open the dark field. But it is forced to hold back. The god of evil resisting lightning has a surprising effect on the demon clan. This method should not appear in advance to make the opponent vigilant. And the armor of destiny also has a strong resistance to negative states. For a while, Lu Chu didn't feel any discomfort. Bang! Boom! Touch of darkness. In the invisible darkness, Lu Ning's heart was suddenly attacked fiercely, which made Lu Ning's figure involuntarily fly backwards crazily. And at the rear direction of Lu Ning's inverted flight, the younger brother of the demon twins, Ian, had already taken his position as if he was waiting for a rabbit. Xiao Xiao looked urgently and expectantly at the front not far away. The high altitude was shrouded in a cloud of black mist, making it impossible for her to see what was going on inside. She tried to communicate with Lu Ning, but found that the black mist had a strong effect of isolating the spirit, and even caused her to have a little mental backlash. This is shameless. 7 7th orders against 1 6th order. Maybe they might not all be 7th orders, maybe there won't be 8th orders. What are you filled with righteous indignation? This is called the reward of the present world. Lu Ning used his strength to suppress us just now, and now he is suppressed by a high-ranking magister with his strength. Do you feel wronged? In this world, the strong have the final say. Even if Lu Ning is such an arrogant and evil person, even if he has Tianan College behind him, even if he has the Yan Empire as his backer, but he is still only the proud, not strong. I must become a high-level magister. That's a whole new world. We're far enough away. Don't rush to go. Maybe we can see Lu Ning's body next. Is it possible that a generation of amazing, talented and incomparable peerless arrogance is going to fall so easily? The mages who had just fled in all directions boldly stopped and watched after they believed that the distance they left was enough to ensure their safety. They have witnessed Lu Ning's strong rise with their own eyes, and the scene of beheading Zhang Tianxi still plays automatically in their minds from time to time. But only a few days later, we will witness the fall of Lu Ning. It really made these mages sigh, feeling that fate is impermanent. At this moment, everyone's eyes focused on this. I saw a figure bursting out of the black mist, but it wasn't Lu Ning, but the evil young man Lu Yu who killed Lu Yu with a sneak attack. After Li Mo came out of the dark field, there was a loud sound from the black fog over there. It was high-level magic. There is the roar of thunder, the crackling of flames, the roar of beasts and so on. Boom! This indistinct confusion quickly disappears. The dark realm affects not only Lu Ning, but also the other 4 7th ranks. How could they ignore the dark realm and work together to destroy it? His sight suddenly became clear. I saw Lu Ning holding the golden thunder spear that had been assimilated by the armor of destiny, and he was fighting with the 2 demons, Iho and Iho, 1 against 2. The weapons used by the demon twin brothers are double knives. The physique of the demon race is already strong, and after stepping into the 7th level, not only is the heart demonized by a quarter, but the blood of the demon race in the body is even more ancestrally stimulated. They are a big level higher than Lu Ning, and their strength alone is enough to compete with Lu Ning, whose strength has been increased by 10 times in the thunderous state. This made Lu Ning, who is best at close combat, not have an advantage in this method for the first time. Clang clang clang. The twin knives in the hands of the 2 brothers, Yi-Yun and Yi-Yun, are like thousands of blades, and the innumerable lights of the knives are flickering afterimages, and every time they attack, they are attached to the dark magic they are best at. The effect of armor of destiny is even better than Lu Ning imagined. You must know that Lu Ning is in the state of thunder, although it is in a state of 10 times increase, but it is also a state of high load, and the time definitely cannot last for too long. But this armor of destiny has another kind of protection, power, which seems to forcibly lock the current state and not fade away, making Lu Ning last longer in the state of Thunderbolt's ultimate move. The Demon Clan brothers are not Lu Yu, who are unparalleled in frontal combat power, and Lu Ning has the upper hand with 1 against 2, even in the current state of the ultimate move. Not the right time yet. When being suppressed, Lu Ning always pays attention to other movements. Seeing this, my heart sank completely. First of all, Xiao Xiao told him that he had the means of escape such as the 10,000 miles teleportation talisman, but the evil young man had already noticed Xiao Xiao despite his appearance of watching a good show and preserving his strength. Lu Ning really had the idea of using Xiao Xiao's 10,000 miles teleportation talisman. Maybe it was not in the hands of the evil young man. Furthermore, the other party has a flying feather clan, and their speed will never be inferior to their own, and it is even possible to surpass their own, so it is not wise to compete in speed. Somehow, Lu Ning suddenly felt that his mind was extremely clear and ethereal at the moment, without any distracting thoughts, and he was completely involved in the battle. Thinking and thinking were all related to how to fight. Is this also one of the protective effects of the armor of destiny? He couldn't help thinking this way. As soon as the dark domain disappeared, except for Li Mo, the other 4 all attacked Lu Ning at the same time. This frustrated Lu Ning's hope that they would not be united. It is true that they will not unite and will be wary of each other, but they will definitely turn their faces after killing themselves. At this time, even if you voluntarily give up the armor of destiny and the fusion treasure wheel, it will not be exchanged for the opponent's retention. It's very simple logic. Since it has been decided to attack such arrogant and monstrous evildoers like Lu Ning, it will naturally end in endless death. If you don't kill Lu Ning, why don't you wait for him to grow up and seek revenge for yourself? Killing Lu Ning will indeed bring revenge from Tianan College or Yan Empire, but as long as he hides well, this kind of revenge will not last forever. After all, the dead Tianzhao is not Tianzhao, and will be forgotten soon. And once you get sequence magic, then everything is possible. If you use sequence magic to step into the 9th level, or have the combat power of the 9th level, how can you be afraid of revenge? Sevenfold magic, Hell Flame Rain. Raising his hand, the 7th level Magister Zhong Hong, is his best move, and it is even a 7th level magic. However, his 7 layers of magic are not 7 completely different kinds of magic connected in series, but the same magic has been cast 7 times at the same time. In terms of power, it is not even as good as Zhang Tianxi's bloody flames on the other side displayed by fusing the treasure wheel. Base. The sky above Lu Ning's head was suddenly dyed with a fiery cloud of fire, and from the cloud of fire that covered the sky and the sun, black flowing flames cascaded down like a gust of wind. Look at Guan Gang, another high-ranking human being. He also didn't say that he kept his hand, and he also used the seventh step to go. Sevenfold magic. Raging water dragon. Crash. On the head of Ziguan Port, 7 magic circles flashed out one after another, but his 7 magics were mixed with 3 different magics, and the rest were repetitions. Roar. A dragon's chant resounded, and a water dragon with a size of 100 meters condensed out. The water dragon's body was rippling, and it opened its mouth to Lu Ning and sprayed 10 turbulent pillars of raging waves. High-level mages can use the power of the elements between the heaven and the earth to cast high-level magic, so there is no saying that the total amount of magic power is insufficient, unless someone can block the power of the elements of the world from being used. At the same time, the snake human strong and the flying feather strong also both shot. The eyes of the snake human race stared suddenly, and a pair of illusory eyes were reflected in the sky from the snake eyes, which were tens of meters in size. Those illusory eyes fixed on Lu Ning, and shot a large gray light towards Lu Ning. When the lightning around Lu Ning touched this gray light, it immediately began to petrify. But the strong Feiyu tribe's body suddenly turned into a thin line, and in a flash, holding a long spear in his hand, he stabbed straight at Lu Ning. Thunder escape body. Lu Ning gritted his teeth and persisted, frantically absorbing the power of the thunder element between heaven and earth to increase the defense strength of the thunder shield. His face was extremely hideous at the moment. The option is still to strengthen the defense. However, under the joint attack of 6 7th tier powerhouses, no matter how strong his defense is, it will show flaws. The Leiden body was petrified by the snake human strongman, causing the spear of the Feiyu strongman to stab Lu Ning directly in the chest. If it weren't for the armor of destiny, this blow would definitely pierce Lu Ning's heart. But the armor of destiny. Although it is a 10th level forbidden magic, but it is Lu Ning who uses it, and the defense cannot reach that level at all. Under the magic attack of 6 7th tier powerhouses, cracks appeared in Lu Ning's golden armor. This does not mean that the armor of destiny is damaged, it is indeed a sequence magic of the item type, but the body is not the armor, but the golden streamer. It's just that Lu Ning alone can't arouse the real power of this sequence of magic. The attack of the demon brothers did not wait for a moment, and dozens of knives had already been slashed on Lu Ning. In the eyes of everyone, Lu Ning was burned and shocked by flames and raging waves, slashed by demons, petrified by snakes, and stabbed by flying feathers. Embarrassed to the extreme. But even so, Lu Ning did not die instantly. This made everyone feel unbelievable. It was 6 7th rank powerhouses who jointly showed their killing power. No matter how evil Lu Ning was, he shouldn't have lasted so long. If there is only one 7th rank, then everyone thinks that Lu Ning can beat him by leaps and bounds. If the number increases to 2 or 3, then everyone thinks that Lu Ning may escape. Can be 6. That's too much. 6 digits is too much. Puff. Lu Ning couldn't bear it any longer. As soon as his throat was sweetened, blood gushed out from his mouth. He can hardly hold on anymore. Hey. The evil young man glanced at Xiao Xiao, then gave a strange laugh. A pair of bat wings suddenly grew from behind him, and then flew into the sky, turning into a stream of light towards Lu Ning. Li Mo judged that Lu Ning couldn't hold on, so he couldn't continue to play tricks, and wanted to try to grab the sequence magic at the moment of Lu Ning's death. It's finally here. After seeing Li Mo attacking at the same time, the ferocity on Lu Ning's face increased even more. With a flip of his right hand, he stuffed the fire ring directly into his mouth. The sequence of magic that merged with the treasure wheel does not help Lu Ning much at present, and the effect is too slow. Lu Ning didn't release the magic power of the fire element in the fire element ring first, but ate the fire element ring directly. This will release the fire magic power inside in one go, and forcibly fuse with the power of the thunder element in his body to generate dual magic power of thunder and fire. But Lei Yanlong mode alone is not enough. At this moment, Lu Ning stuffed the blood-boiling medicine and the medicine bottle into his mouth. Relying on the effect of the blood-boiling potion, the blood in Lu Ning's body boiled instantly as if adding fuel to the fire, which made his physical potential of dragon-slaying magic forcibly tapped. Dragon transformation. Lu Ning shouted in his heart. His arms and legs turned into dragon claws. At this moment, the power of the dragon in the body is surging crazily. With Lu Ning's dragon transformation, the shape of the armor of destiny also changed. To Lu Ning's surprise, the armor of destiny absorbed part of the dragon power in his body. This immediately startled Lu Ning. What he planned was to explode beyond the limit of his ability to bear in an instant, and to kill all the 7 promoted magisters in front of him with one single move of his dreams. High-level magisters are not afraid of consumption, and there is no such thing as a protracted war. If one is missed and not killed, he may be dragged later. Being held back means that other high-ranking powerhouses will come, and if they also covet his sequence magic, then it will be called real death without life. Now that the armor of destiny absorbs his dragon power, it will affect the upper limit of his explosion. But as soon as this idea appeared, Lu Ning found that his explosion was not affected, but got feedback from the armor of destiny. Armor of destiny also has a buff effect. To stimulate such an amplification effect, one needs one's own special ability. Not enough. Lu Ning glanced at his personal panel. He has not yet reached the unbearable upper limit. Last of the last, Lu Ning also stuffed the thunder element ring given to him by Bestier Niang Bai Shui into his mouth, and the massive thunder element power inside immediately filled every inch of Lu Ning's body. At the same time, he continued to actively use the Wheel of Wishes and 100 Eyes to frantically absorb the power of the thunder element between heaven and earth. The total amount of magic power is rising. Explosive combat power. Finally, Lu Ning ushered in his current upper limit. He looked at the personal panel. Total magic power. 0.80 million. All of Lu Ning's explosions were deeply suppressed in his body, which made his aura not so obvious. What he is worried about is that some of the 7 high-level powerhouses in front of him can give early warning, but have the ability to respond. Certainly, this kind of behavior of suppressing everything to explode, but still suppressing it in the body as much as possible to cover up the momentum, undoubtedly caused a greater burden and damage to Lu Ning's physical body. According to common sense, it is impossible for Lu Ning's current physical limit to soar from the normal 1.8 million magic power to 8,000. This is due to the feedback and protection of the armor of destiny. At this moment, Lu Ning suddenly raised his head and pressed his right hand on his abdomen. It's just a dying struggle. It's still the strongest in the human generation. Boy, you are proud of being able to survive until now. Worthy of sequence magic. The protection and defense capabilities of this armor of destiny are simply far beyond my expectations, but the more this kind of divine object, the higher the level it needs to display its true power. The head of the dragon. Li Mo, the evil young man who came after him, pressed his left hand on his right shoulder. His whole right arm began to throb with blood and flesh, and immediately turned into a huge demon head, opening its bloody mouth towards Lu Ning devoured it. It's now. Lu Ning's right hand pressing on the abdomen suddenly pulled out a purple-red golden thunder knife from his body. Yes, purplish gold. Even the weapons, condensed from ability moves, can enjoy the protective effect of the armor of destiny. Today's dream is not condensed by pure thunder element magic power, but the fusion magic power of 2 elements. As soon as the purple-red golden Meng Yixin knife was drawn out, the eyes of the 7 high-ranking powerhouses in front of them all showed incomparably shocked expressions. In their eyes, great fear began to appear involuntarily. It is precisely because of being able to communicate with the heavens and the earth that the power of the elements between heaven and earth can be used, so high-level powerhouses have extremely strong perception of the power of the elements. And the dream that Lu Ning pulled out now is a full concentration of 79.5 million Lei dual-line magic power. One knife without thinking. Without any gorgeous sword moves, Lu Ning just slashed away in such a simple to mediocre way. All of a sudden, a cluster of bright sword glows with a length of 1,000 meters came out shockingly. Bang 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 bang. A series of 7 explosions sounded, and the hearts of the 7 high-ranking powerhouses were smashed into pieces in an instant. Their bodies were divided into 2, and they were immediately covered with a layer of purple-red-gold thunder flames. Their bodies were burning with thunder flames, and they plummeted from the sky. In this process, several of the 7 high-level powerhouses reacted temporarily, but under the effect of Wushang Yixin's demon-breaking effect, they were useless. They couldn't even make a scream, and they were instantly killed by Lu Ning. Especially that evil young man Li Mo. Before he died, there was a look of surprise in his eyes. It turns out that this junior named Lu Ning was not defeated by most of the 7th ranks from the very beginning. Rather, he wanted to create an opportunity for 7 7th order powerhouses to be within his attack range at the same time, and he wanted to finish the move in seconds. Is this a hallucination? The many mages who stopped to watch in the distance are all staring at the sky ahead with dumbfounded at this moment. The stunning knife light that shook the entire sky just now is still galloping towards the distant sky. The corpses dropped by the 7 7th order powerhouses are so conspicuous. Lu Ning, someone suddenly shouted. Lu Ning won. He killed 7 7th rank powerhouses in one move. This is unbelievable. Can someone really do this kind of thing? My God, my God. This is not in line with common sense. Everyone knows that Lu Ning has enough strength to leapfrog the ranks and challenge the 7th rank, but he is facing 7 7th ranks who are determined to kill him. One move kills all in seconds. What is this? What a splendor it is. All the mages looked at the armored figure in the sky in front of them in disbelief. But it doesn't seem to be over yet. Lu Ning swiftly took away the storage items of the 7 high-ranking figures. Then he yelled, "Fusion Treasure Wheel." He immediately integrated the dream in his hands into the Fusion Treasure Wheel, and directly cast the Dragon Slayer Profound Art, Lei Juishan. There is still a lot of time for the dream to be single-minded. And the slash it made just now also made Lu Ning feel that there was an extremely powerful chaser coming. That must be the 8th. It might even be the 9th. Because there was no feedback of cutting the other party. The crisis is not over yet. Time has dragged on for a long time, and more sophisticated high-level magisters have also come to the secret realm of heaven. Lu Ning also has no other way. The total amount of mana in his body is only about 500,000, and the power of the Dragon Slayer Profound technique is also extremely limited. We can only hope to integrate the treasure wheel, combine the two big moves, create a new big move form, and increase the power. But he overestimated the fusion treasure wheel. In other words, Lu Ning is used to his casting speed without singing proficiency. The fusion of fusion treasure wheel is not completed instantly, it needs fusion time. And it needs Lu Ning's spiritual will as the leader to fuse magic. The prerequisite for success is that one is very familiar with the magic to be fused. Quickly cast the 10,000 miles teleportation talisman. Lu Ning didn't realize at all that he just wanted to grow wings at this moment, and a pair of dragon wings suddenly spread out behind him. Although the dragon wings are covered with golden streamer, they are protected with a layer of armor. At this moment, he was wearing a dragon-shaped armor, and his wings spread out behind him. The speed was like a comet piercing the starry sky, and he came to Xiao Xiao in an instant. Xiao Xiao had already prepared for this moment. She immediately took out the 10,000 miles teleportation talisman and activated it. And 1 second before she activated the 10,000 miles shifting talisman, the attack of the unknown strongman has arrived. In an instant, the whole world was covered by wonders, as if the world had been changed. Everything in front of him became incomparably white, the cold wind whistling like ice blades, and the ground under his feet had already looked like a glacier. A gigantic arm with a thickness of 1,000 meters and completely condensed from ice and snow rose from the ground, and grabbed Lu Ning and Xiao Xiao in the direction they were in. At the end of the giant arm of ice is the supreme terror. What Lu Ning saw was a level of power that was absolutely above his own. At this moment, he not only felt that the world had been changed, but even felt that the whole world was against him. This made Lu Ning insert into the fusion treasure wheel, forcefully pull out the dream that was being merged, and slashed towards the giant arm of the 1,000-meter ice. While shooting, Lu Ning saw the shooter in the distance. The man was dressed in white with a flawless face. He was a man as beautiful as ice sculpture art. That's General Ice, one of the 18 generals of the Qian Empire, too. Xiao Xiao's voice was trembling at the moment. Each of the 18 generals of the Qian Empire is an 8th rank, not just a simple 8th rank, but a top 8th rank that is enough to wrestle with the 9th rank. If it is said to belong to other forces, there may be a chance of turning around. But from the Qian Empire, since they made a move, it would definitely destroy Lu Ning directly, which meant that the two sides had already formed a grudge. A general of a country, even if it is not a human slaughter, is absolutely impossible to commit an act of mercy. Lu Ning's Wushang sword, which instantly killed 7 high-ranking powerhouses, looked a little pale and powerless in front of the giant arm of ice, and the astonishing light of the sword was caught in the snow-white palm and could not be cut off. But because of this, the grabbing momentum of the giant ice arm paused for a moment. This son. A look of astonishment appeared on Qi Jing's white and flawless face, and Ji Yujing Wubo's eyes revealed an undisguised killing intent for the first time. He was too far away, otherwise Lu Ning would not have any respite. All right, Xiao Xiao called out in surprise. The space power of the 10,000 miles shifting talisman had already enveloped the two of them, and they were about to be teleported away. Frozen world. The ice general of the Qian Empire was not in a hurry. Seeing that it was too late to grab it, his giant ice arm suddenly shattered into endless ice crystals. Those ice crystals quickly formed a big snowstorm. Even space is frozen. The horrified expression on Xiao Xiao's face could no longer be concealed, and even her beautiful eyes were filled with despair. She took it for granted. Among the high-level powerhouses, there will naturally be someone who will master the means to temporarily contain the power of space, making it impossible for people to teleport away. And Bing General Qi Jing is one of the strong ones. But Qi Jing's frozen world move suddenly stopped at this moment. It was this pause that caused Lu Ning and Xiao Xiao to teleport away at the very moment. A man of strong luck. Seeing this, Qi Jing showed a trace of doubt in his eyes. Is it my own mistake? He didn't give up, he looked around, and then he chose a direction and disappeared in place. The 10,000 miles teleportation talisman can only move thousands of miles in an instant, and in front of the 8th rank, it is not considered to be out of danger in the true sense. What have you done? Among the dumbfounded mage crowd, an unremarkable figure was standing there, looking at the direction where Lu Ning and Xiao Xiao left, while asking a question in his mind. It was Yang Yan. What she was asking was naturally her own Holy Spirit remnant. I stole a section of the man's magic formula, causing his magic to stop for a moment. Don't worry, he didn't notice it for a while, and he won't notice you. You should leave here quickly. That kid doesn't seem to be that kind of person who will perish. The remnant soul of the Holy Spirit replied lightly. Yang Yan nodded, but before he left, there were already a large number of figures rushing towards this side. Frozen world. This is Qi Jing's move. What happened here? It was actually the powerhouses of all forces, and at this point in time, they arrived at the same time. Everyone looked at the figure of the strong man flying all over the sky, but for a moment they didn't know what expression to show. It's really waiting for the bus for half an hour and not one comes, but two come as soon as it comes. Senior White. When Xiao Xingyu saw one of the figures, he suddenly yelled in surprise. Bai Shui flickered, and came directly in front of Xiao Xingyu, asking with a gloomy expression, who did Qi Jing attack? Talk without meow, this is going crazy. It's Lu Ning. The ice general of the Qian Empire attacked Lu Ning, but my sister prepared the 10,000 miles teleportation talisman in advance, and left first with the help of space teleportation. Bai Shui listened, his face turned cloudy. She has a line of heaven and earth, so she can rush over from Langsing Tianan City quickly, but the other party is one step ahead of him, so she must have similar means of rushing. What? You didn't joke with the old man? At this moment, a high-ranking strong man next to him yelled in shock. You said that Lu Ning was first besieged by 7 7th-level magisters. He was besieged at first and was in danger, but when the last 7th-level magister came up to attack him, he killed the 7 magisters instantly with one move. That's right, everyone saw it. We thought Lu Ning was bound to die today. Lu Ning is too powerful, he doesn't look like a 6th order at all. If stepping up is the limit of Tianzhao, then Lu Ning's limit at the 6th level is to crush the 7th level. Senior Wang, you are late, otherwise, that stunning knife light will definitely make you unforgettable forever. That's not all. Lu Ning was attacked and killed by the ice general of the Qian Empire after he killed 7 7th rankers, but he forcibly blocked the moment, creating an opportunity for the girl next to him to activate the 10,000 miles teleportation talisman. When the high-level powerhouses of various factions asked questions, all the mages were extremely excited, describing the scene of the miracle that was just astonishing to heaven and man. All the strong men were stunned after hearing this. It seemed that a figure of a young man who had sublimated to the extreme was outlined in his mind. What they said is true. Lu Ning didn't simply escape from Qi Jing, but he escaped from the latter after killing 7 7th level people in one fell swoop. Bai Shui looked at Xiao Xingyu and asked, "It is true." "Very well, go back, Lu Ning will be fine." Bai Shui nodded, and then the wind and thunder all over him suddenly moved, and he disappeared in place in an instant. "Go find Lu Ning," a strong man suddenly gave a low voice. "Are you crazy? Didn't you see Lu Qingya's white tiger coming too? I just want to see how handsome that young man is, that's all." Well, after today, the name of Lu Ning will surely resound throughout the magical world. The crowd of strong men suddenly fell silent. I suddenly felt a pity in my heart, regretting that I didn't see the scene where Lu Ning slashed 7 ranks and 7 ranks with his own eyes. "Among you, who has used the crystal image magic?" Suddenly, a strong man thought of something and asked loudly to the mages nearby. No response. The strong man then continued. "The old man produced a 7th order monster core. Then I have to say, I have." At that moment, many people took out a crystal ball one after another. Look at Lu Ning again. After he and Xiao Xiao successfully teleported, they didn't stay any longer. The former even took out some remaining low-level lightning-type materials from the storage ring and swallowed them into his mouth to forcibly recover and suppress his injuries. 3,000 lightning illusions. After having a little magical power in his body, Lu Ning directly cast the 3,000 lightning phantom body. He doesn't care about Lei Huan's combat strength, it's just an increase. This caused severe pain in his spirit as if it was being torn apart, as if his soul was being pulled. In the end, in his current state, the 3,000 lightning illusory body only displayed 10 of them. He cast Thunder Clone again. A total of 11 clones are facing in different directions to confuse those who are chasing him. Lu Ning did not let Xiao Xiao leave. It is extremely dangerous to let her go, but it is the safest to follow her. Thinking of this, Lu Ning glanced at the girl beside her who was helping her, but for a moment she didn't know what to think in her heart. Haha, no matter how you say it, it's impossible to be so exaggerated, right? Yeah, if you want to say that Lu Ning killed a 7th level magician by jumping over the ranks, it's okay, but 7 7th level magicians can be killed in one knife in an instant. Good guy, is he the son of the world? Forget it if you don't believe it. Anyway, someone used crystal image magic to record that scene, and you should be able to see it when you return to Blue Star. Hey, I haven't come to my senses until now. I thought the gap between myself and Tianzhao was huge, but I didn't expect it to be so big. Did you not graduate from elementary school? Can you use a little vocabulary to describe it? Near the exit of a certain Tianzhu, a group of mages were walking and chatting. Now that this place has become a high-end game, naturally there is nothing to do with them. If you don't go yet, if you encounter some old things with unstable temperaments, they will directly bully you, and there is no place to cry. There are a lot of 6th level mages in the Tianzhu secret realm. Naturally, not everyone was present when Lu Ning cut the 7th level power. Therefore, in this secret realm, the mages who were about to leave were all talking about Lu Ning. You say, Lu Ning should be in a state of extremely high load right now. I saw him drink the blood-boiling potion. At this time, the sequelae occurred, and he should have lost his combat effectiveness. At this time, one of the mages in the group suddenly spoke up. If we get by chance with him. Before he finished speaking, he saw other mages looking at him in shock. Beep. It's true that people can't be judged by appearances. People who usually look harmless to humans and animals can sometimes have more ruthless minds than anyone else. Such as this kind of rat-licking pussy, there are absolutely no fewer people looking for excitement. After all, wealth are sought in danger. What you said is not unreasonable, but I respect Lu Ning more. Someone replied, and after making up his mind, he alienated the person who had just spoken. Lu Ning. The person who spoke had a gloomy expression, but the person next to him suddenly yelled. This made him face suddenly startled. Immediately, he looked up and found that Lu Ning stopped not far from them, looking at them with lightning arcs in his eyes from time to time. None of my business. I didn't see anything. This frightened most of the mages among them, all of whom were present at the time. Obviously, they thought that Lu Ning heard their conversation, so they stopped. The unremarkable mage who spoke before was just stunned for a moment, and found that the mages around him had scattered, leaving him standing alone. Which direction is the nearest Tianju exit? Lu Ning asked a question. There. The isolated mage pointed forward. After getting the answer, Lu Ning stopped talking nonsense and rushed forward. After Lu Ning left, the mage who was being questioned suddenly collapsed and fell to the ground. Just looking at each other once made him fully understand how curable he is in the eyes of others. There is nothing wrong with the saying that people are not ruthless and cannot stand firmly. But ruthlessness and dormancy do not conflict. Playing ruthlessly before recognizing one's own strength is nothing but self-paralysis, and sooner or later one will kill oneself. The sorcerer came back to his senses and found that all the sorcerers who wrote about his work just now had left on their own. A corner of the Tianju secret realm. In a mountain range to the south of the secret realm, Lu Ning and Xiao Xiao temporarily hid in a natural cave. Lu Ning asked Xiao Xiao to use the soundproof magic, then manually covered the hole, and then kept digging downward. When he dug to a depth of 100 meters underground, he asked Xiao Xiao to remove the sound insulation magic, so as not to let any sign of magic in this place. The situation is not very optimistic. I haven't met any seniors from the academy for the time being, and there are people guarding the entrances and exits of the 72 pillars. Breaking in is tantamount to throwing yourself into a trap. 1 inch. Lu Ning's face was slightly gloomy. Thunder clones can't share memory, but 3,000 thunder phantoms can. Lu Ning and Lei phantoms are like hive consciousness, sharing thoughts all the time. With the help of this, Lu Ning was able to understand the outside situation to a certain extent. Of the 72 Tianju exits, nearly half of them are controlled by foreign races, so there is no need to think about that side. As for the rest, the ones that Lu Ning searched temporarily were guarded. The only seniors that Lu Ning trusts are Dean Lu, Vice President Yun, and Beastier Niang Bai Shui. He will not trust the seniors of other colleges. Since the ice generals from the Dry Empire can come in, then the seniors from our academy must also be able to come in. Xiao Xiao comforted from the side. Lu Ning nodded, of course. He didn't show any obvious signs of being chased, which meant that the high-ranking experts from Tianan College didn't do nothing when they came here. Perhaps it is delaying the hostile forces and alien forces looking for him. In addition, the sequence magic that still exists in Tianju Royal Court will definitely attract a large number of high-level powerhouses to compete for it. For the time being, he's safe. Lu Ning, how do you feel now? Has the aftereffect of the boiling blood potion come out? At this time, Xiao Xiao asked with concern. She has taken out all her healing potions and cast low-level healing magic on Lu Ning. It's okay, I'm in good health. Lu Ning made a pose to show his biceps at him. Woohoo, it's actually not very good, it's just that it's born to wear bullets. The total amount of its own magic power is already 1.8 million, and it has skyrocketed from the order of 1 million to the order of tens of millions, reaching a total value of 80 million magic power. It would be strange if it could be good. But it was also thanks to General Thunder and Lightning's big move, which directly extracted the total amount of 79.5 million magic power in Lu Ning's body at that time. This is why Lu Ning has physical injuries now, but not to an extremely serious level. Even if the total amount of 80 million magic power is stored in the body for one more second, the load damage caused to Lu Ning is incalculable. Besides, in addition to the known defense, negative status resistance, combat power increase, etc., the protective effect of the Armor of Destiny also has a healing effect. Is this the power of the ancient 10 absolute techniques? After a few hours, Lu Ning felt much better. The dragon power of the Dragon Slayer magician physique was forcibly excavated a lot during the extreme explosion. Although the explosion made Lu Ning fall into a weak state at the moment, the excavation of the dragon power made Lu Ning's physique breathless. It broke through the 2000 mark and reached the value of 2100. With such a physique value, Lu Ning's self-healing resilience is also extremely strong. According to the current state, at most a few days, he will be able to recover to the peak. And, demonization. Lu Ning's mental strength sank and landed in his heart. The tip of my heart has already begun to show signs of demonization. This means that when Lu Ning erupted to a total of 80 million mana, his body and his will automatically carried out the common sense of demonization without his own awareness. If Lu Ning can withstand the total amount of 80 million magic power in his body, then it is estimated that a quarter of the hard magic has been completed at this moment, and he has entered the first stage. When thinking about it, Xiao Xiao actually took the initiative to stick to him, leaning her head on his shoulder. This extremely intimate gesture made Lu Ning stunned for a while. He couldn't help but look down, and there was a beautiful face that was so bright and beautiful that he lowered his head and said nothing. You exchanged my favor before, what are you planning to do with it? Lu Ning looked away. He remembered Xiao Xiao's appearance when he fell under the evil magic last time, so he changed the topic. I didn't think so, Xiao Xiao replied in a low voice. Lu Ning couldn't help being silent. But after a while, he took the initiative to lower his head and approach Xiao Xiao's face, and kissed him under the other's surprised eyes. Lu Ning. Xiao Xiao was shocked. She was only temporarily uneasy because of the current situation, so she leaned on Lu Ning's shoulder. Why is it like triggering the other party's switch? But it doesn't seem too bad either. Wrong. Broken. Like dry wood and fire, Lu Ning completely ignited the lust in his heart. This is the indulgence of the 7 emotions and 6 desires after the danger of dying. Unlike last time, he is the active side this time. In such a situation, Xiao Xiao still chose to help herself, and without her, she would surely fall into the hands of Lei Jing. Why is he such a hypocrite? When the love is deep, you have to pull it out. Xiao Xiao gritted her teeth, but did not refuse. The two embraced each other in the dark underground, lingering and intertwined, and their bodies and minds gathered together. 1 hour of greed isn't enough. As if he had never touched a woman in 8 lifetimes, Lu Ning once again cast the magic of wild growth. But at a certain moment, he stopped suddenly. A thunderball condensed in the right hand and slowly floated into the air, illuminating the entire underground. Xiao Xiao, I have something to give you. Lu Ning looked at Xiao Xiao in his arms, bared his teeth and smiled. Seeing that there was light, Xiao Xiao couldn't help being shy, but she was curious about what Lu Ning would give her at this time. What is it? Lu Ning took out the black-rimmed glasses that Dean Lu Qingye gave him from the storage ring. Xiao Xiao is the kind of girl who is born with the temperament of a royal sister, and she is more intellectual if she is scheming, and the same is true for her clever and wise acting style. But there is always something missing. Yes, it's glasses. Quote. The shyness on Xiao Xiao's face disappeared, and a question mark appeared. Is that so? Xiao Xiao still took the glasses and put them on. Lu Ning, will you love me? She asked the classic words. Of course, I love you more than anyone else. For Lu Ning now, this is not a multiple choice question. Master General, Your Excellency the General. In Tianju's secret realm, the high-level mages of Qian Empire were startled when they saw the person in front of them. I saw Qi Jing's right arm disappeared, his whole body was covered with scars, and his aura was at its peak. Bai Shui. Qi Jing's beautiful ice-like face revealed a hint of ferocity, but it was also mixed with fear. Have you found that Lu Ning? He then looked at the Qian Empire and asked. No, but I found a few magic clones, and I can't determine where the main body is. There are already arrangements at the entrance and exit, and there are also deployments outside the secret realm. When Qi Jing heard that there was no result, the injury seemed to have worsened invisibly. You can't enter the 9th level now, but it's coming soon, you must hurry up. Otherwise, when Lu Qingye comes, no one can stop her from taking Lu Ning away. That kid is too threatening, we can't let him leave here alive. Although Qi Jing was seriously injured by Bai Shui, he still did not give up the idea of killing Lu Ning. Quote. Everyone in the Qian Empire looked solemn, and scattered in all directions, continuing to look for Lu Ning. Thanks to the fact that the Tianju secret realm is vast enough, their search was not so smooth. In addition, not only Tianan College, but also high-ranking powerhouses from the Yan Empire. Find Lu Ning. Meeting with the Qian Empire powerhouse, it is inevitable to have some arm wrestling. Look at Bai Shui again. After her battle with Qi Jing, she didn't feel any different in herself, she still looked like that cute white-haired animal-eared girl. The mark on Lei Yuan's ring. Has not completely disappeared. A pair of phantom wind and thunder wings grew out of Bai Shui's back, flying at high speed in the sky. Found it. Bai Shui's pair of white fluffy tiger ears moved suddenly, and came to the sky above where Lu Ning was, sensing the mark in the latter's body. Lu Ning ate the Lei Yuanwan, and the mark was naturally in his body. Bai Shui gave Lu Ning the Lei Yuanwan with the mark, and it was not a rainy day. At that time, Lu Ning was actually just an interesting kid who made her care a little bit, with a special physique. Can accommodate the power of pure thunder element. She did have desires for Lu Ning, but it was definitely not malicious. Every academy genius she likes who is good at lightning magic will be marked by her, and she will pay attention to their growth. It seems that the boy is really at the end of his rope, hiding in the ground at a depth of less than 100 meters, and he will be discovered in a short time. Bai Shui raised his mouth. Then it turned into a stream of wind and thunder and directly smashed into the ground brutally. She was deliberately trying to surprise Lu Ning and scare him. But when she saw the scene in front of her, the corners of her raised mouth twitched involuntarily. Bai Shui. 6. In front of. Lu Ning hurriedly took out clothes to cover Xiao Xiao, but he didn't care about it, just waiting for someone to come. Ah, Senior White. Lu Ning was taken aback when he saw who was coming. I've read this scene in a book. After the hero and heroine experienced life and death, their relationship heated up extremely quickly. If they were alone, it would definitely be a fire. Hearing this, Xiao Xiao immediately lowered her head, ashamed to see others. She was still very weak in Lu Ning's arms just now, and immediately put on all her clothes with lightning speed. Bai Shui beckoned, motioning for Lu Ning to put on his clothes and leave with him. She is a strong person who has lived for hundreds of years, what scene has she not seen? She is surprised by this, but she also thinks it is reasonable. Ha! Suddenly, Bai Shui saw something. Her ha-ha burst out laughing. Did you give the glasses that Lu Qingye gave you to someone else? Ha ha ha, I'm going to go back and tell Lu Qingye that when Lu Ning was doing that, you gave her, Lu Qingye, to your glasses. The mirror was worn on the woman's face. Quote, the more Bai Shui thinks about it, the more fun he finds. Ha ha, I can't wait to see what kind of expression Lu Qingye will have when she hears it. Meow. Lu Ning's face suddenly darkened completely. Lu Qingye, Lu Ning, is this given to you by Your Excellency the Dean? Xiao Xiao was also stunned, Agu Lu Ning. Okay, let's get out of here first and then get angry slowly, meow. After Bai Shui finished speaking, he grabbed Lu Ning and the two of them and flew into the sky. Ha ha ha, I want to tell Lu Qingye that this kid Lu Ning thinks of other women as her, and then he does that. The more she said the more outrageous. No, Xiao Xiao. Lu Ning was so frightened that he quickly explained. Why is the character of this animal ear girl so out of character? I am not a member of the old lady, how could I have thoughts about Dean Lu? It took a lot of effort before Lu Ning calmed down Xiao Xiao's suspicion. Then, Lu Ning asked Bai Shui, saying, Senior White, let's go to the Tianju exit like this. Someone is guarding there. In my opinion, it's better to unite with other seniors from the academy before leaving. When Bai Shui heard this, he couldn't help raising his eyebrows, and replied, do I look weak? It's okay, Miao will come out then. She waved her hand and signaled Lu Ning, don't worry too much. I don't know much about this beast-ear girl Lu Ning, but it is undeniable that she has the blood of the white tiger, one of the four holy beasts, and her combat power performance is extremely exaggerated. Seeing her so confident, Lu Ning became quiet. With Bai Shui's speed, after a while, a large group of figures gathered in front of him. One of the 72 Tianju exits. A high-ranking expert is coming. Yes, it is Lu Ning. Hiss, that white tiger also followed. Quick, send the message out. That's too late. Some of the 7th Order Magisters squatting at the exit of Tianju were all deeply jealous after seeing Bai Shui. They didn't block the exit to prevent people from going out, but squatted nearby, and if Lu Ning fell for it, they would be able to catch the turtle in their hands. However, with the escort of Bai Shui, the 8th level might be able to delay time, but the 7th level is tantamount to death, and it is not enough to put the white tiger between his teeth. I can only stare blankly. Just like that, he watched Bai Shui take Lu Ning and Xiao Xiao away from the Tianju secret realm. Hold me tight, meow. After leaving the Tianju secret realm, Bai Shui quickly said something to Lu Ning and Xiao Xiao. Where is the nonsense at this time? Okay. After Lu Ning finished speaking, he hugged Bai Shui from behind. At the moment of embracing him, he clearly saw Bai Shui's obvious stress reaction of exploding hairs, which made Lu Ning let go of him in a hurry. Why let go, meow? When Bai Shui asked, Lu Ning rolled his eyes straight away. His heart was full of slander, but he still hugged him again. On the other side, the same is true for Ruxian. The two hugged the smaller white-haired animal ear girl at the same time, one in front of the other, like a large personal pendant, which seemed a little funny for a while. After Lu Ning and Xiao Xiao hugged each other tightly, Bai Shui took out the heaven and earth disc, and with the help of the space teleportation ability of this magic item, he instantly disappeared in place. A few minutes later, several powerful auras appeared at the original positions of the three of Bai Shui. Many of these strong men came from different races. For the aliens, Lu Ning is enough to become the object of their attention. At the 6th level, he can leapfrog the level and instantly kill the 7th level with an absolute crushing posture, so what about waiting for him at the 9th level? The Tianzhao threat theory is actually nothing to the 9th level powerhouse. Who can step into the level of the 9th level, who will be an ordinary person? But Lu Ning, let those alien 9th ranks see the real threat of arrogance. If Lu Ning was not caught in the Tianzhu secret territory, but if he wanted to catch him outside, the difficulty would increase by not a tiny bit. How can there be so many strong people who can guard the entrances and exits of each secret realm separately? In addition, Bai Shui has a line of heaven and earth, and there is no way to track it down. Half a day later, Blue Star Sky South City. I'm fine, I've gone back to rest now. Bai Shui threw the first line of heaven and earth to Lu Qingye, raised his white chin proudly, and said, "The news should have reached your ears, right?" Lu Ning was able to burst into battle at the 6th level and instantly kill the 7th level magisters, or 7. When Bai Ruyan was still at the 6th level, he could kill 5 magicians in one go at most. Well, it's still in the case of ambush and sneak attack in advance. Seeing the proud and smug expression of the beast ear girl, Lu Qingye stroked her forehead, and asked in doubt. Then what are you proud of? Didn't you say that he is far inferior to the teacher? HMPH. Upon hearing this, Bai Shui's complacent face immediately sank. But she suddenly thought of something and asked, why did you give Lu Ning the glasses that the teacher gave you? Quote. Lu Qingye was silent for a while, and then replied ambiguously, he gave me the feeling that he is the same kind of person as the teacher, and now it seems that he has proved this point, hasn't he? Isn't it really a token of love for you humans? Bai Shui continued to ask. What are you saying? Lu Qingye frowned. What's wrong with this white tiger today? What inexplicable words are he talking about? It's nothing, it's just that Lu Ning put your glasses on his little girlfriend's face when she was doing that with her little girlfriend, and let his little girlfriend pretend to be you. However, to Bai Shui's disappointment, Lu Qingye didn't show the expressions she wanted to see because of this embellished words. Dean Lu was very calm, as if he was listening to a child playing nonsense. It's not interesting. Bai Shui clicked his lips, turned around and was about to leave. Remember, stay with Lu Ning during this time. Lu Qingye said something. After a few days of calm, the news about the secret realm of Tianzhu has been updated from time to time on the official website of the Magic Association. After a few days, the battle for sequence magic between various human forces and the strong aliens has also come to an end. On the human side, 7th level magisters died, 1 8th level magister died, and there were no 9th level casualties. For the alien side, 28 people died in battle at the 7th level, 1 person died at the 8th level, and 1 at the 9th level was seriously injured but has not yet been confirmed dead. No one knows what the Magic Association counts for, but it does look interesting, and the casualty calculation also includes the 7 7th orders killed by Lu Ning. Tianzhu Royal Court originally had 21 sequential magic inheritances. 15 kinds were snatched away by Feng 21, and he himself has the armor of destiny. The remaining 5 types are sequential magic and law of heaven and earth. This sequence of magic fell into the hands of Qian Empire powerhouses. There is also the sequence of magic, the colorful glazed tower. This sequence of magic fell into the hands of the 9th rank Great Magister, Feng Ziming, of the Huang Empire. The colorful glazed tile pagoda is a pure auxiliary magic, but its auxiliary effect is too powerful, and it doesn't have to be an auxiliary magician to fully use it. Those who have been approved by its inheritance can use it easily. Just imagine, you met a magician with a colorful glazed tower, and before opening it, the other party cast a huge number of state-enhancing spells on himself, directly transforming into a buff god of war. How do you fight this? This magic is also the most sought after except the armor of destiny. It is said that Feng Ziming is still being chased and killed by several other people of the same level. The third sequence of magic is called Holy Light Angel, which is a taboo magic of the summoning type, and it falls to the strong servants of the Yan Empire. The fourth type is sequence magic Six Eyes Sealing God Monument, which is a 10th order sealing magic obtained by a foreign race. The fifth type is sequential magic 10 Direction Dao Formation, which is also obtained by foreign races. But not only that, sequence magic is a kind of forbidden magic, and it cannot be said that its power is the strongest among forbidden magic. Loyalty is special and can be inherited. Even in ancient times, someone was able to directly transform taboo magic into sequence magic that could be passed on in a special way. Yes, there are not only sequence magics in Tianzhu Royal Court, but also taboo magic books. There are 3 books in total, 2 of which were acquired by the Magic Association, so naturally they wouldn't say it was forbidden magic. Another copy fell into the hands of Wen Lin, the 7th level magician. That piece of Wen Lin was not Lu Ning. He was alone, and the Magic Association spread the news. Probably how many people were staring at that piece of Wenlin day and night. The taboo magic book records all the spells of the 10th level taboo magic, but it needs to be comprehended and understood by oneself. Not everyone can learn it if they want to. But it is still undeniable that the taboo magic book is precious. People make money and birds die for food. If you can't get Lu Ning, you can't get Zhang Wenbiao. Finally, the 72 celestial pillar array is also a kind of sequential magic. It maintains the stability of the celestial pillar secret realm, and its defense is exaggerated. It is not easy to move away if you want to. In a flash, another few days passed. On the college's practice square, almost all the current students of the college gathered here, and even some college tutors came to join in the fun. Sha Liu Liu, can you hurry up? Qin Zhanfeng called out to the pretty girl who was walking quickly. Sha Liu Liu did not respond with a sullen face, but she was holding a magic crystal ball. Let me introduce to you, this crystal ball records the battle scene of our brother Lu that day. To tell you the truth, that picture is still replaying in my mind. You can't feel how. Qin Zhanfeng took the crystal ball and was about to make some opening remarks when he was interrupted. Hurry up and play the picture. Who is this person? I have no impression. The exchange student from the Huang Empire is called Qin Zhanfeng. He uses sword magic. He and his female companion are really courageous. They dare to go to the secret realm of Tianzhu even at the 4th level. I heard that it is best to die a 16,000 level mage in the Tianzhu secret realm. Only 10,000. I heard it was 100,000, of which Lu Ning killed tens of thousands. No, what I heard is that Lu Ning alone fought against the army of mages led by 7 7th ranks, and killed them all with a supreme crushing posture. That crystal ball costs hundreds of thousands. Is it really that expensive? It's just one price per day. Yesterday it cost 1 million, and today it's only 600,000. As the curtain of Tianzhu secret realm draws down, Lu Ning also officially steps onto the stage of this world. In the past half a month, various exaggerated rumors about Lu Ning have been flying around. What? Lu Ning killed thousands of 6th level mages by himself. What? Lu Ning alone singled out 10 7th level magisters. What? Lu Ning did not lose the wind in the confrontation with the 8th order, and left calmly and unrestrainedly. Anyway, the more it spreads, the more exaggerated it is. The name, Lu Ning, is not only in the Yan Empire, but also in countries all over the world, and it is almost about to become a household name. There are many people named Lu Ning in this world. But now when it comes to Lu Ning, the information like, Lu Ning, the arrogant and evildoer of the Yunnan Academy of the Yan Empire, will automatically appear in everyone's mind. Then I'll start playing. Qin Zhanfeng shouted loudly, and then poured magic power into the crystal ball. The crystal ball instantly radiated light, and opened a illusory curtain on the spot. At this moment, everyone seemed to be pulled back to the moment when Lu Ning was 1 against 7. The scene was extremely realistic and immersive. At the same time, a small country in Blue Star. In the hall of the Prisoner Dragon Guild's underground headquarters, all the crooked evil magicians gathered together. The battle scene of Lu Ning is also playing in front of him. Oh, Li Mo was instantly killed by this move. It's really stupid. If he can bear it all the time and doesn't shoot Lu Ning will have to use this trick eventually, and he will have enough time to escape by then. He's in a hurry, and he's ready for food. It's so easy to die. It's a good thing. The president found so many ancient beast corpses for him, what a waste. No, I've already seen this video. The president told us to come here. Is it to attack Lu Ning? Are you kidding? In this period, fools know how to protect this Lu Ning. If they go there, they will die. Maybe someone will make a fake Lu Ning to fish. The backbone members of the Prisoner Dragon Guild chatted noisily. The man sitting at the top also had some dealings with Lu Ning to some extent. It was Duan Tianliu who had been tricked by Lu Ning before. Not many people know Duan Tianliu's name, because he is the president of the Prisoner Dragon Guild, so others call him Semprin. Prison Dragon has been involved in many dark industries, such as human trafficking, slave trading, bounty assassination, intelligence gathering and so on. On the premise of being wanted by the Blue Star countries on the bright side, it can still develop so strong. This is enough to show that Duan Tianliu is not the only one behind the Prisoner Dragon Guild. You guys prepare for it in the near future, there is nothing left to do. Duan Tianliu paced the table with his fingers, and the hall became a little quiet. What mission? I won't say it for now, but soon, we need to go to the Tianan province of the Yan Empire. Hey, you don't really want to take action against Lu Ning, do you? Even if all the members are mobilized, we can do nothing if Tianan Academy hides Lu Ning. There are 10 known 9th level great magisters in Tianan province, not including some hidden old monsters. All of them died in the past. Duan Tianliu listened to the backbone of the guild talking. After they said they had stopped, they announced, all the staff are dispatched, but not for that Lu Ning. There are other important matters. The reward is a sequence of magic. The meeting ends, Tian Tianxing meets. After that, he got up and left the hall. The backbone members of the guild looked at each other, and they all realized that something big might happen. The other side, Dry Empire. Marshal, are you really going to the Yan Empire? Qi Jing's right arm has recovered. He looked at the burly middle-aged majestic man in front of him, and asked with a frown. Your Majesty has already said that the fusion treasure wheel will be brought back. The bottom line is that it can be replaced with a sequence magic and a taboo magic book. The middle-aged majestic man finished speaking, and stepped onto the magic power spaceship in front of him. Seeing this, General Bing Qi Jing followed. Relic Continent. Demon Family. When have I ever been afraid? Kai Yi. Chie, the Tianzhao of the demon clan, shouted at the young clansmen in front of him. The young people of his clan kept laughing, saying that he did not dare to challenge Lu Ning, the pride of mankind like a warrior, and that if it was him, he would die even if he knew he would die. The veins on Qi's forehead were violent, and he really wanted to summon Lu Ning directly to see if these cubs of the same race would be scared. Ha, is that Senior Mai Shao? I've seen his human form before. At this time, the fellow clan next to Chie looked at a man in a robe with a stern face walking into the demon temple of the demon clan. This is already the 5th. Chie's expression changed. Recently, from time to time, other strong alien races from the Ruins continent came to the main city of the demon clan, Castlevania, to discuss some important matter. This made Chie couldn't help but ponder, and was keenly aware of the meaning of some things. Sign in. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting a reward from signing in, physical fitness plus 150. Goldfinger's reminder sounded in his mind. It's been nearly half a month since I signed in, and as before, the most is the total amount of magic power and physique. As for abilities and moves, although I have obtained a few, the ranks obviously cannot keep up with my current strength. Lu Ning opened his personal panel at this time. Host, Lu Ning. Realm, Tier 6. Total magic power, 4.846 million. Physique, 2,920. Talent, Lightning Apprentice, Wheel of Wishes, 100-eyed Wheel, Superior Armor Body. Ability moves, slightly. Weapon props, slightly. Looking at the number in the column of the total magic power on the panel, Lu Ning suddenly looked down on the total magic power of the order of millions after experiencing the explosion in the Tianju secret realm before. But in fact, the total amount of magical power on the surface is really not that important in comparison. What matters is the physique. Lu Ning's combat power under normal conditions is not much stronger than that of ordinary Tianzhao. His strength lies in his explosion, which can explode in several stages. And the physique talent, excellent armor body, will increase his combat power by a corresponding amount because his own explosion exceeds the threshold. The total amount of magic power, as long as there are enough foreign objects on the body, can be accumulated to an exaggerated level in a short period of time, but the key lies in whether one's body can bear it. Another point. Naturally, there are dragons in this world, but they are divided into two types. One is the Western giant dragon with wings, and the other is the Eastern dragon without wings. Lu Ning is not sure whether the dragon he will eventually become is a Western dragon or an Eastern dragon, as he uses dragon-slaying magic more times. The final form of dragon-slaying magic, corresponding to 247, is the Western dragon. But for Lu Ning, his favorite dragon form is of course the Eastern dragon. I don't know if the form will change due to his personal will when he becomes a dragon. Although it's a bit far-fetched, Lu Ning is very concerned about this. Because it's about being handsome. If possible, it would be best for the two forms of dragons to be able to transform freely by themselves. During this time, Lu Ning's injuries have fully recovered, and his strength has improved again. This is due to the large number of healing potions provided by the Academy. And after Lu Ning made such a sensational achievement in the world, whether it is the Academy or the guild that cares about the interests, the attitude towards Lu Ning is naturally to give what they want. With the resources of the college and the guild, Lu Ning obtained 5 pieces of 8th level lightning type materials in a short period of time, and they are still collecting. It takes a lot of effort to swallow the 8th level lightning type materials. Lu Ning hasn't finished eating one yet. What he hadn't expected was that refining the 8th level lightning material did not significantly increase the total amount of magic power in his body, but put the magic of the heart on the agenda, and began to hit the 7th level. This made Lu Ning extremely surprised. As a coward, he hasn't practiced seriously since he traveled to the present, but now he is a little confused when he wants to break through the shackles and bottlenecks once. Could it be that the total amount of magic power in my body can only hold a maximum of 5 million values? The upper limit of the total amount of magic power rose very slowly, but the demonization of the heart proceeded steadily and orderly, and the liquid magic power stored in the abdomen also began to gather towards the heart. Everything is difficult at the beginning, and the same is true for breaking through the shackles of cultivation. Demonizing the heart and imprinting the spirit with the magic power in the body are the most important things for stepping into the 7th level. However, mastering 7th level magic is not the standard for becoming a 7th level magister. The magic of the heart means that the magic power in the body has changed from liquid to solid, and the hardness of the heart after magic is extremely high, harder than Qin Jianfeng's mouth. Lu Ning is lucky. According to the normal rhythm, it is absolutely impossible for him to reach the 7th level so early. Especially in the aspect of imprinting the spiritual imprint, if it is not done well, it will be like a crash. If the 6th level mage is completely stuck in the 6th level, he will never be able to step into the 7th level in his life. In contrast, after the spiritual imprint is completed, the demonization of the heart will appear to be smooth sailing. Lu Ning defeated Zhang Tianxi on the Destiny stage, and gained the Destiny armor, Destiny added to his body, and his invincible belief was forged along the way. What Bai Shui said is correct. Improving self-confidence is the most intuitive way to condense spiritual imprints. It's just that this also has a great side effect. The spiritual imprint cast by the invincible belief is extremely strong, even more powerful than the ideological stamp. But once you lose once, this imprint of belief will be destroyed by itself and completely disintegrated. In other words, once a Wangtian emperor appears in this world, all those who walk the invincible path like Lu Ning will die. And Lu Ning still can't guarantee that he is the Wangtian emperor. He doesn't seem to be aware of the seriousness of this matter now, but the spiritual imprint cast by the invincible belief has indeed made the process of demonizing his heart extremely stable and fast. Tonight, Lu Ning left the villa, ready to go to the dean to ask some of his own doubts. Lu Ning, who had never practiced seriously before, had a lot of sudden thoughts in his mind when he was really going through the magic level. Lu Ning. As soon as he walked out of the villa, Lu Ning heard a weak voice coming from the villa door. Looking back, it was the girl Shu Meimei. Meimei. Lu Ning was a little surprised. What was she doing squatting at the door of her house like an idiot in the middle of the night? He and Shu Meimei have also become acquainted before, so the address is relatively intimate. There are rumors outside that Xiao Xiao is your girlfriend, is this true? Shu Meimei bit her lower lip, and finally mustered up her courage to ask. It is true. Lu Ning was taken aback when he heard that, but still replied calmly. Looking at Shu Meimei, she didn't say anything like, Lu Ning, you big idiot, I hate you, I don't care about you anymore, idiot idiot, why? It was me first, etc. classic words. In the end, Shu Meimei left without saying anything. Lu Ning's face changed strangely a few times, but he didn't say anything. This is just a small episode. I went to the Magic Library Pavilion to meet Dean Lu. She was still studying magic at night. Lu Ning evacuated the Tianzhu Royal Court's Dongcheng Magic Library, which naturally made Lu Qingye busy. She herself is obsessed with studying magic and is a quite accomplished magic scholar. The number of improved magics is too numerous to list. In the Blue Star Magic Association, when others talked about her, the first impression was not of her as the head of Tianan College, but of her as a magic scholar. The Tianan Guild members who searched the Tianzhu Royal Court before temporarily placed the loot on Lu Ning, and Lu Ning also returned it. Dean Lu, good evening. Lu Ning bowed slightly to Lu Qingye, and seeing the old woman in front raised her head, she said with a smile. I have some questions about cultivation that I would like to ask you, Dean Lu. Well, tell me. Lu Qingye nodded. At the moment, Lu Ning repeated some of his own needs and ideas. For example, if you want to increase the upper limit of the total amount of magic power in your body, or if there are any magic secrets that can allow you to store more magic power in several body parts. There are also some fantastic ideas, such as whether it is possible to transplant the magic heart of other magisters into his body, and make his single-core processor into a multi-core processor. Lu Ning is like an introductory kid who has just come into contact with magic. He spoke eloquently, with a happy face, talking about his own ideas. Some sounded a bit unconstrained, and some sounded reasonable but were actually impossible. Lu Qingye just looked at Lu Ning and listened to his crackling speech. Gradually, a smile appeared on the corner of her mouth, and she just listened without interrupting Lu Ning. After a long time, Lu Ning finally stopped and said, Dean Lu, that's pretty much all I need and want. Your ideas are very interesting. I do have a special magic here, which should be very suitable for you, but it needs a long time of uninterrupted practice. Lu Qingye rummaged through it, took out a magic book and put it on the table. Lu Zuo introduced. It's called Liuku Shenfu. It's a special kind of body-refining magic. It can not only increase the strength of the physical body, but also increase the upper limit of the magic power in the body. If you refine it, the 6 viscera in the body will become the parts that can contain the magic power. It's just that the cultivation of the Liuku Shenfu is extremely difficult and dangerous. A single carelessness can cause damage or even necrosis of the internal organs. In addition, it requires special secret medicine to cooperate with cultivation. It's just that the refining method of the secret medicine has been lost. Quote, this is an inherited ancient body refining secret technique. I got it from a ruin in the ruins continent when I was young. It is not human beings who created this magic, but a certain ancient demihuman. After Lu Ning heard this, the extinguishing thoughts in his eyes were already obvious. Would you like to try it now? Lu Qingye laughed. Of course, but, what do you mean now? This body refining secret is proportional to its strength and danger, and it also pays attention to the adaptability of a body refining mage. I will stay by your side when you try it for the first time. If you are not suitable for this body refining secret, of course I will not let you continue to practice, so as not to miss the future. Good. Lu Ning nodded after listening. Lu Qingye then beckoned, and Lu Ning stepped forward, and saw the former point towards the latter's head, and directly used magic to force the complete magic formula of the body refining secret technique Liuku Shenfu into Lu Ning's mind middle. Lu Ning only felt that his head was suddenly pricked by a needle, but then a flood of knowledge spread out in his mind. This is amazing, and there are even some research results and opinions about Lu Qingye's research on this body refining secret technique. The so-called 6 Fu organs refer to the gallbladder, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, bladder, and triple burner, among which the triple burner is the most mysterious. Without hesitation, Lu Ning's first choice is definitely the stomach. His stomach didn't know how many lightning-type materials had been digested, and he definitely had a lot of tempering. As expected, under the guidance of Lu Qingye, Lu Ning easily condensed a drop of liquid lightning magic power in his stomach, and stabilized it with the help of secret techniques, and then began to gradually increase the magic power around the liquid lightning magic power. Just one night, Lu Ning has changed from a single core to a dual core, and the total amount of magic power contained in the stomach is exactly the same as the position of the head. It seems, this body training secret technique is waiting for your appearance. Lu Qingye couldn't help but sigh with emotion at this moment. But compared to the strength of Lu Ning's stomach organs, she was more shocked by Lu Ning's body itself. His body. Too strong. There is an indescribable mystery. Lu Ning also wanted to make persistent efforts to open up other viscera, but although progress was made, it was not smooth. This kind of body training secret technique naturally comes slowly. Lu Qingye smiled, signaling that Lu Ning should not be overly ambitious. Seeing this, Lu Ning resigned and left, going back to think about it by himself. After returning to the villa, Lu Ning continued to retreat. He has something to do. While speeding up the progress of the demonization of the heart, it is also promoting the development of Liuku Shenfu. This is the first time that Lu Ning practiced in a real sense. Not to mention how good his comprehension is, but his physical foundation is so good that practicing body training magic is simply getting twice the result with half the effort. Today's signature arrived. Sign in. Lu Ning signed in without further ado. Ding! Congratulations to the host for getting a reward from the sign-in, the Thunderous Fruit Ability Pure Version. Lu Ning, who didn't expect anything good. After hearing Goldfinger's prompt, he was stunned for a moment, and then the joy in his heart surged out involuntarily. Thunder Fruit. Return him. Is the pure premium version. At first glance, it is indeed the case. This pure version is free from the side effects of devil fruit. Zzz. Lu Ning looked at his right arm, and with a thought, he saw that the entire right arm directly transformed into the purest form of lightning. Elementalize. He was able to elementalize as soon as he obtained the fruit ability, which is entirely due to Lu Ning's mastery of thunder and lightning. So to say, Lu Ning suddenly thought of something. He suddenly moved the total amount of magic power in his abdomen to the position of his bladder. But it seemed that he played a little too hard all of a sudden, and suddenly his bladder exploded, causing a thunderstorm. Ah, my Kunkin! Lu Ning let out a loud cry. Fine. He cheered himself up for a while, and then saw that he transformed from an element into a flesh body again with the thunder that exploded. Kunkin is fine. And with this rough method, Lu Ning's bladder position was initially successfully opened up, and the magic power can be increased. It's almost drowsy. There are pillows. Lu Ning was overjoyed. For him, the secret body training technique Liuku Shenfu is indeed difficult, and the biggest difficulty is that there is no fault tolerance. Once you make a mistake, the 6 internal organs will be damaged or even necrotic, which is a serious and irreversible consequence, so you need to take it slowly and step by step. But now with the thunderous fruit, the body is directly elementalized. When you know that you can't bear it during the process of cultivating Liuku Shenfu, you can directly perform elementalization of your body to avoid damage directly. Finally got stuck with a bug in this world. Lu Ning was overjoyed, and the Shenfu at the bladder was also opened up. Dual core becomes triple core. The total amount of magic power of nearly 5 million is multiplied by 3. Next is the other Liuku. With the endorsement of the elementalization ability of the Thunder Fruit, Lu Ning can make whatever he wants. This powerful ancient body refining secret technique, without the assistance of drugs at this stage. Only physical prodigies like Lu Ning can succeed in cultivation, and it takes a lot of time to get results. However, coercion is coercion. 3 days. Cultivate this Liuku Shenfu to great success in 3 days. Single core to 6 core. Chapter 91. With the refinement of the stomach and bladder into the gods, Lu Ning's physical value also ushered in an increase. Physique. 3,420. Improve physical fitness by nearly 500 points. As expected of an ancient body refining secret technique, even though I practiced it in a way similar to skipping classes, the effect of the body training secret technique will not disappear just because of such skipping classes. This is the body training secret technique. If it does not increase the strength of the body, what is the body training? Lu Ning is very satisfied with this. At the same time, I am also fortunate to have obtained the Wheel of Wishes and 100 Eyes talent of General Thunder and Lightning, which allows him to take the initiative to absorb the thunder element between heaven and earth without worrying about the lack of power of the thunder element when he refines into a shrine. At first, Lu Ning was worried that some of his own advantages would be diminished after he stepped into the 7th level. After all, high-level magisters can use the power of elements in the world to cast magic, so there is no need to worry about magic power. The power of magic depends on the level of magic and one's own understanding of magic. And before the 7th level, Lu Ning's biggest advantage is that the total amount of magic power in his body depends on his upper limit of combat power. To the 7th step, even if Lu Ning can use the power of the thunder element between heaven and earth, but it weakens the physical advantage, which may not be a good thing for him. But now, with Liu Fu, he doesn't have to worry at all. I have enough total magic power, and I can also use the power of the thunder element after stepping into the 7th level. It is simply a hybrid of oil and electricity. Lu Ning continued to refine into Shenfu. It took a lot longer than he expected. It was not until the morning of the 5th day that he refined the last triple burner into a shrine. So far, in less than a week, by virtue of his own physical advantages and the way of skipping classes with the elements of the thunderous fruit, Lu Ning has completely mastered the secret art of body training Liu Shenfu. At the same time, Lu Ning's heart demonization will also usher in the end of the 1st stage. The so-called 1st stage is to demonize a quarter of the heart, which is also the limit that most 7th level masters can achieve. The magic of the heart is not as simple as simply letting the heart be infected with liquid magic and then turn into crystallization. Mokuai's heart carries the spiritual imprint of the magister and becomes the real source of life. Therefore, the bottleneck of spiritual shackles is even higher. For Lu Ning, is also a difficulty that cannot be ignored. It's just that he has come all the way, and he has reached his current achievements in this world in less than 2 months. In addition, he killed Tianzhao on the Destiny stage, and I also killed 7 7th level magisters in one fight, and the top 8th level magician. Mentors flee and so on. This series of achievements has invisibly forged Lu Ning with an extremely firm belief in invincibility. As long as he is undefeated in Chongsheng, this belief will continue and will only become stronger and stronger. The disadvantage is that as long as he loses once in the middle, the spiritual imprint on Mo Kui's heart will also collapse due to the defeat, which will bring him extremely serious consequences. The 7th day. Lu Ning is still in retreat. Vice President Yun came to Lu Ning's villa dormitory, frowned and asked the air behind him. Lu Qingye gave him a secret body training technique. This kid is probably studying it excitedly. Meow. Bai Shui couldn't see him, but his voice appeared behind Wei Jianming. Vice President Yun rubbed his eyebrows and said, "The Qian Empire has put pressure on Chen Wuhuo to come here in person, saying that he wants to get back the fusion treasure wheel on Lu Ning." Chen Wuhuo is the marshal of the Qian Empire, the 9th rank Great Magister. It is also the 3rd of the 9th level powerhouses who are most likely to step into the level of the 1st level Magic Emperor under the Blue Star's 4 Magic Emperors. Letting such characters personally visit the Yan Empire is enough to show that they attach importance to sequence magic and fusion treasure wheel. What? They want to be violent? Are the Yan family just sitting idly by, or are they going to play the role of making peace? When Bai Shui heard this, his expression immediately became gloomy. The Yan family she was talking about was the royal family of the Yan Empire, whose real name was Chat Tianxi. I'm not sure, so I sent an imperial envoy over here, saying that I want to meet Lu Ning in person. After Vice President Yun finished speaking, he rang the doorbell of the villa. Not long after, Lu Ning walked out of the basement practice room of the villa. He then asked with a respectful smile, "I've met Dean Yun, is there anything wrong with my student?" "Lu Ning, you snatched Zhang Tianxi's sequence magic. The Qian Empire seems to take it very seriously. They sent a domestic marshal to the Yan Empire to put pressure on them. They also sent an imperial envoy to discuss this matter with you. Our college has decided to hold a high-level meeting on this matter, which is also a good time for you to get to know the high-level people of the college. Vice President Yun didn't beat around the bush, but directly pointed out the purpose of his visit. After hearing this, Lu Ning was a little surprised. From the current point of view, the effect of fusion Baolun on him is not so exaggerated that he cannot give up. After he came back, of course he asked Lu Qingye for the elemental rings of each department. After this attempt, it was found that it was impossible to fuse 3 or more special magic powers through the fusion of treasure wheels for the time being. But there are signs of fusion success. After all, I am not familiar with the magic and magic power of other departments, but after getting familiar with it in the future, the success rate will definitely increase greatly. With the characteristic of fusion Baolun means that it has infinite possibilities. Lu Ning is absolutely unwilling to let go of this kind of sequential magic. He made up his mind, so he happily left the pile with Vice President Yun. Seeing this, Bai Shui also took steps to follow. Not long after, in the conference hall of Tian'an College, senior officials from all colleges sat together. If you look closely, there are actually 17 people, including high-level officials from the academy itself, as well as vice presidents and above from the guild. Bai Shui and the thousand-eyed demon beast who presided over the college's unified examination were also listed here. In other words, except for Lu Ning, none of the people present is lower than the 8th order. This made Lu Ning a little surprised. He didn't expect Tian'an College to have such a strong background. No wonder in Tian'an Province, Tian'an College is the boss, not the governor's family of Tian'an Province. Oh, Dean Lu did not attend. Vice President Yun and another Vice President Wu presided over this high-level meeting. Student Lu Ning, I have met all the seniors. Lu Ning bowed his hands in salute, but his face was neither humble nor overbearing. Lu Ning, this is the Imperial Envoy from Yanjing, Your Excellency Yang. Vice President Yun introduced the young man sitting next to him. The young man has a handsome face and a head of extremely eye-catching fiery red long hair, which looks extremely unconventional. The surname is Yan, and he is the Imperial Envoy, so Lu Ning can guess that the other party is a member of the royal family of the Yan Empire. Maybe it could be a great-grandson of the Emperor. It's really a hero born out of a boy. Lu Ning, you have such a talent, it is really a blessing for my Yan Empire. Yan Yang smiled and said a simple and polite sentence. Lu Ning is not a crooked character. He said bluntly, I have seen Your Excellency the Imperial Envoy, and I have already learned about the purpose of coming from Dean Yun. I have no intention of returning the sequential magic fusion treasure wheel. The Imperial Envoy was not surprised. If he didn't have the spirit of a teenager, he would find it strange that such an evil character in front of him. I saw Yan Yang said with a smile. This time, I came here for 2 things, one is to pass on the words of the Marshal of the Qian Empire. The second is to invite you, Lu Ning, to Yanjing King City. As soon as the words came out, the faces of Vice President Yun and other high-level college officials changed. Only the salty fish Thousand Eyes of Warcraft felt that this kind of high-level meeting was meaningless, but he was yawning and feeling bored because he had nothing to do with himself. What are you going to do in Wangchang? His Majesty Tianwo wants to see Lu Ning. Bai Shui asked with a slightly lower tone. It's what His Majesty wants to see. How can His Majesty not want to meet such a talented person in the Empire? Yan Yang admitted generously. The drastic change in the face of other high-level members of the academy was because they were afraid that Lu Ning would be directly recruited into the Yanjing King City. And Bai Shui is worried about other things. Yan Yang ignored the changes in the face of the senior management of the academy, and continued. Let's talk about the first thing first. Your Excellency the Marshal said bluntly that he is willing to exchange another kind of sequence magic and a taboo magic book in exchange for the fusion treasure wheel in your hand, not just asking for it out of thin air. Lu Ning's expression changed, and he said, sequence magic also pays attention to adaptability. The sequence magic they use to exchange may not be suitable for me. I suggest that I pass on the sequence magic first. If it is better than fusion treasure wheel, I will exchange the latter. Hearing this, everyone present was stunned. Bai Shui's calm face suddenly revealed some smiles. Lu Ning, is this trying to black out another sequence magic of the Dry Empire? Although it sounds very exciting, but if you really dare to do this kind of thing, Lu Ning will definitely die at the age of 18. This is your answer. I said it. I was just passing on the message. Yan Yang shrugged, and he continued. Then, let's go back to the topic of the second matter. Yanjing King City. From Tianan City to Yanjing King City is just a matter of teleportation array. Don't worry about being ambushed on the way. Emperor Tianwo is in Yanjing King City, how can anyone dare to make trouble there? So there is no need to worry about Lu Ning's security, it just depends on whether he wants to hack or not. Lu Ning pretended to be thinking, but said without even thinking about it, I am currently practicing a secret technique of body refinement, which is at a critical moment. I am afraid that it will take some time before I can go to the royal city to meet His Majesty in person. Yes, what is there to pretend, he is indeed afraid of the 10th Order Magic Emperor. I don't want to go, and I don't dare to go now, and I don't want to put my own initiative in the hands of others. Going to Wangcheng is nothing more than two kinds of results, one is to have an audience with Emperor Tianwo and then receive a reward. The other is to be. What's going on? Lu Ning's mind is working fast at the moment, and the plots of the protagonists of various classic novels being cheated or staged. For example, Emperor Tianwo is afraid of his potential and fears that his becoming the new magic emperor will bring uncertainty to his empire's rule, so he must be controlled or killed directly. For example, there is a certain special feature on him that the big shots in Wangcheng fancy and want to seize. Another example is that someone takes a fancy to his body and talent and wants to take away himself or something. These bloody plots sound unbearable, but if the bloody things really happen, it will be too late to cry. Then when can you go to see His Majesty? I'll have an explanation when I go back. It's best to give an exact time. Naturally, Yan Yang would not show arrogance to people like Lu Ning, and his tone was still soft, as if he was discussing with the other party. This made Lu Ning difficult. If possible, he hoped to wait until he stepped into the 10th step, but it was obviously unrealistic. Wang Cheng can definitely allow Lu Ning to have his own arrogance, and also tolerate a certain degree of rejection from the other party, but Lu Ning doesn't take Wang Cheng seriously at all, so the nature is completely different. Lu Ning thought for a while, and said in a compromise, at least half a year. My body refining secret technique needs to be practiced continuously for at least half a year to achieve results. Yan Yang nodded, hummed lightly, and said, it takes half a year for your talent to achieve results, it seems that it is an extremely powerful body training secret technique. Half a year, I will come back after that half a year pick you up. I won't bother you to discuss your own affairs. It's over. After he finished speaking, he got up and greeted the high-level officials present at the academy, understanding, and then voluntarily left the conference hall. Look at my brain, I almost forgot that there is a third thing to do this time. It's just that Yan Yang suddenly turned around halfway, patted his head, and seemed to blame himself. The third thing is to give you some rewards to Lu Ning on behalf of His Majesty. Your Majesty rewarded you because of your outstanding performance in the secret realm of Tianzhu. I hope you will continue to work hard. Step into the high-level level as soon as possible. After Yan Yang finished speaking, he voluntarily handed over a storage ring to Lu Ning. Lu Ning was about to pick it up, but Yan Yang suddenly withdrew his hand and said, almost forgot, you have to kneel when accepting your Majesty's reward. Lu Ning stared at Yan Yang without moving at all. The corners of Yan Yang's mouth curled up slightly. But you Lu Ning is different, you don't have to kneel. Then he put the storage ring on Lu Ning's hand, and only then did he really leave the meeting hall. After he left, Lu Ning looked at Bai Shui. Bai Shui made a gesture of wiping his neck, and gritted his teeth at him. The faces of many high-level officials in the academy are also extremely unsightly. Yan Yang didn't talk too much about Marshal Chen Wuhuo of the Qian Empire, saying that their royal city had already blocked the matter, and the sequential magic would not be changed if they didn't want to. But to remind Lu Ning, he, Lu Ning, is the pride of the Yan Empire, not the pride of Tianan College. Although Yan Yang's tone of voice was very soft, and there was nothing wrong with being courteous, but the arrogance of being a member of the royal family was not revealed. Lu Ning didn't even look at the good things in the storage ring. Throw it directly to Bestier Niang Bai Shui. Bai Shui took the ring and said with a funny expression, the things inside are very precious, meow. It can't compare to Senior White's life-saving grace. You boy, ha ha ha. Bai Shui laughed heartily. All the high-level people looked at each other, and then began to carry out some high-level meetings in the college. Most of the talk is about the distribution of benefits and business dealings. Of course, Lu Ning was also mentioned. It is unanimously approved, and we must spare no effort to cultivate Lu Ning, so that Lu Ning can apply for any cultivation needs. After the deliberations are over, Lu Ning and Bai Shui walked out of the meeting hall. Why not? Thousand Eyes of Warcraft looked at Lu Ning strangely. How could the reward from the Magic Emperor not be generous? You have no backbone, and you expect others to be like you, meow. Bai Sha patted the head of Warcraft Thousand Eyes fiercely, and the latter shrank his neck and left in a hurry. I went back to practice. Lu Ning said something to Bai Shui and left immediately. He didn't feel much fluctuation in his heart, nor was he angry because of the Empire's dismounting. Incompetent rage can't change any status quo. It is true to seize the time to improve your strength. In this world where personal power can be increased infinitely, no matter how amazing and talented you are, as long as you are not the strongest, there will always be someone oppressing you. Power overwhelms you. So, improving strength is the kingly way. After Lu Ning left, Bai Shui seriously checked the reward in the storage ring. I thought that Emperor Tianguo is so grand, can't the Academy also produce these things? She glanced at it and lost interest. After all, it is a reward from the 10th level Magic Emperor. If there is a very rare world wonder, it cannot be wasted. Besides, Yan Yang, the envoy of the Empire, left the meeting hall and went straight to the teleportation hall in Tianan City, and returned to Yanchang Kaicheng through the magic teleportation array. Wangcheng sighed. In Nuo Da's teleportation hall, a luxuriously dressed young man was waiting. This young man is not an ordinary person, he is also a member of the royal family. His name is Yan Chong. Seeing Yan Yang teleporting over, Yan Chong stepped forward and asked with a smile, "Have you seen that Lu Ning? How do you feel?" Unsurprisingly, he is very high-spirited, and he is not going to return the sequence magic of the Qian Empire. After Yan Yang finished speaking, he stretched out his hand to Yan Chong, and said, "If you lose, give me the bet, and I will say that it is impossible for Lu Ning to come to Wangcheng with me. You won't deliberately trip that Lu Ning in order to win me." Yan Chong handed a storage ring to the other party, and then asked a little strangely, "How is it possible?" I just reminded him a little bit that in the Yan Empire, Tianan College is not his backer. Upon hearing this, Yan Chong probably guessed something, shrugged, and said helplessly, "You care too much about appearances. People who are respectful in front of you may not really take you seriously behind the scenes. And those who always question my Yan family's royal family and speak harshly, on the contrary, they often respect me from the bottom of their hearts. The Yan family is in charge." Yan Yang laughed all of a sudden. He didn't even dare to come to the royal city. Can he say he respects my royal family? When it comes to Tianan Academy, I would be angry. If it wasn't for that Bai Ruyan pioneered 500 years ago, he founded the Magic Academy. Everyone can learn magic. How can the majesty and control of my royal family decline year by year? You can't say it like that. If His Majesty does not fall, the majesty of the royal family will not decline. In short, Lu Ning will not come to Wangcheng in half a year. I will report this matter to His Majesty. Then you go. After the two finished speaking, Yan Yang left the teleportation hall. When Yan Yang left, there was a hint of sarcasm in Yan Chong's eyes, and his tone was extremely sneering. "Idiot. Throughout the ages, how can people with a heart care about power and calendar? People who are really obsessed with power have already lost their spirits, so how can they pose a threat to the royal rule?" Thinking of this, Yan Chong realized that this was an opportunity. As for the royal family, factions are more complicated than places. The lineage of the royal family that Yan Yang belongs to is the most valued by Emperor Tianguo, but Wei is not. Asking Yan Yang to invite Lu Ning to Wangcheng is because Emperor Tianguo gave them the value of this lineage, and let Yan Yang's lineage have a good relationship with Lu Ning and other monsters. But Yan Yang pushed Lu Ning away. Yan Chong really lamented the injustice of fate, but this kind of idiot can be taken seriously. He snickered in his heart, and estimated that he would soon hear the news that Yang was punished by Emperor Tianguo. Fruitless. After a long time, Yan Chong received the news. Yan Yang was dismissed from the post of imperial envoy. It is a pity that the new imperial envoy is not Yan Chong, but another great-grandson of Yan Yang. This may be an opportunity. Yan Chong lowered his head, thinking deeply. In the end, he looked at the teleportation array in front of him, his expression fluctuating. At present, there is no accurate information about the attitude of the royal family towards Lu Ning. But Yan Chong was originally intelligent, and he could see it from the details of some high-ranking figures, and he attached great importance to it. We must know how many so-called geniuses the Yan Empire produces every year, but there are also many who eventually disappear or fall in the middle, and there are only a few who can really grow up and become the overlord of one party. Tianzhou is too aggressive, too strong and easy to break, but the upper limit of achievement is often lower than those late bloomers who know how to hide their strengths and bide their time. But Lu Ning is different. He is no longer at the level of Tianzhou, and the dazzling potential brilliance on him can be seen almost visible to the naked eye. His past achievements, people just take a look. The first impression is not that this person is talented and amazing, but that he will definitely become a top powerhouse in the future. If I want to stand out in the royal family, I'm afraid it will never be possible with my qualifications and connections, but if I can make friends with a monster like Lu Ning, then in the future. Yan Chong thought up to this point, he no longer hesitated. Gritting my teeth, I decided to visit Lu Ning at Tian'an College. Several days passed after that. Tian'an Province, Los Angeles No. 1 Middle School. In the training square of the school. You are simply the worst class of students I have ever brought up. Teacher Wang looked at the immature faces in front of him, and scolded with a straight face. Teacher, everyone has no intention of cultivating recently. A high school student raised his hand and replied. Why, it is said that Lu Ning is the senior of our Los Angeles No. 1 middle school, but we have asked many people, and they all say they don't know about it, so everyone is arguing, saying that Lu Ning's senior is not a student of our Los Angeles No. 1 middle school. Upon hearing this, Teacher Wang suddenly became furious, and shouted, Fart. He then pointed to his feet and said loudly, 3 years ago, it was here that I personally taught Lu Ning to master magic. Tell me who said that Lu Ning was not my student in Los Angeles. The students looked at each other, did not expect such an ordinary Teacher Wang to be Lu Ning's mentor. Forget it, let me tell you some good news. After a while, as an outstanding student of our school, Lu Ning will return to Los Angeles No. 1 middle school. I have verified this matter with Lu Ning. He is currently in retreat, and he will return to school after he is released. When the ordinary Teacher Wang said this, he couldn't help puffing out his chest. In fact, he is really Lu Ning's teacher. The second class of the third year of high school he led graduated this year, so naturally he had to start teaching again from the first year of high school. He was not bragging out of thin air. The school leaders found him and asked him to contact Lu Ning, saying that he was inviting Lu Ning to give a speech at his alma mater to urge the students of No. 1 middle school in Los Angeles to practice magic seriously. Lu Ning did talk to him, but he didn't refuse, but he had to set the time. Really, that Lu Ning really came from No. 1 middle school in Los Angeles. Hey, our poor school can produce such monsters. Whoever said that the school is broken, get out of here. Do you know that there are already too many people in Los Angeles who want to transfer to my No. 1 middle school? Great, I want to ask the senior to teach me some magic. I don't know if the senior will teach me. Don't worry, Lu Ning respects his teacher, loves his classmates, and will not refuse. Yay, that's great. Teacher Wang looked at the cheering appearance of the students, as if infected. Some smiles gradually appeared on his stern face. He couldn't help but look up at the blue and white sky, feeling that the world is still uncertain. You and I are both dark horses. Looking back on the 3 years of teaching, he did not have a deep impression on Lu Ning. Unexpectedly, that kid is an arrogant and monstrous person who is famous enough to be famous all over the world, and he can become a household name overnight. And he was only 18 years old. To be able to achieve such an achievement at the age of 18 is simply unimaginable, not to mention unprecedented. It is also unprecedented. Teacher Wang narrowed his eyes suddenly. Illusion, why does it feel like a black line appeared in the sky in front of me, and it quickly and straightly extended towards the sides? Buzz buzz. Suddenly, the sky seemed to be collapsing, as if an invisible big hand was pressing down fiercely. Ah, what's that? The sky is cracked. The students all raised their heads and looked up, each of them yelling incoherently in shock. I saw that the black line extending across the sky directly melted the sky into a huge crack of incomparable darkness. Space rift. Although Mr. Wang's realm is not high, after all, he has some experience after seeing so many teachers. But it all happened so fast. Before he could respond in time, he saw a wave of magical beasts suddenly appearing like a black tide in the cracks in the space above. The wave of monsters and beasts fell from the sky. Some fell to their deaths directly, but more of them gathered into beast hordes within a short period of time, attacking the humans in the city indiscriminately. All students, below the 3rd level, immediately go to the underground shelter of the college. At this time, the principal's amplified magic voice sounded in Los Angeles number 1 middle school. Quote exclamation mark quote. Teacher Wang yelled and escorted the students to the underground shelter. Tianan Province is an area of the Yan Empire that is close to the wild, so the reaction to the attack of the beast horde has long been rehearsed. It's just that for so many years, the city behind the border city has not encountered the so-called beast tide attack once. After years of slack, the difficult reaction to the beast horde disaster is probably not optimistic. And it's a space rift. Obviously not from the warcraft in the Yanwang Mountains. While protecting the students to leave, Teacher Wang looked nervously at the sky. His eyes froze suddenly, and he saw a huge broken sword slashing across the world. The word, Heaven Open, is engraved on the body of the broken sword. It was this broken sword that cut through the cracks in space, linking Blue Star and the world of the ruined continent for a short time. The Tiankai sword cut out space cracks one after another. Almost all cities in Tianan province cannot be avoided. Is it the 10th rank divine weapon, the heavenly sword? Alien, how dare you? How dare you directly attack the inside of my Blue Star? Kill. At the same time, in the sky above Tianan City, various high-ranking powerhouses soared into the sky, with awe-inspiring murderous aura. This is not an ordinary wave of warcraft, but a premeditated invasion. Behind the tide-like beast tide, there are a large number of alien races in the ruins continent. There are even more high-level monsters and high-level alien powerhouses in number. Almost at the same time as they met, the two sides directly fought together. Tianan College. Aliens attack. All students stopped practicing immediately and prepared to meet the enemy. The entire Tianan province was in chaos in an instant. The battlefield is divided into one city and one battle situation, which cannot be integrated in a short time. To make matters worse, Tianan Border City, where the magic army is stationed, is now being attacked by a real beast horde in the Yanwang mountain range, and it will be impossible to escape for a while. Looking down from above, the disaster of the beast horde swept across the entire Tianan province, and only a few cities were spared. One after another, fresh lives fell into the world of Warcraft. Crying, shouting, screaming, roaring, etc., all kinds of sounds are endless. Quote. Is the alien race crazy? In the academy, Yan Chong watched the high-ranking powerhouse fighting above with a look of shock. With his logic, he couldn't figure out why. The Yan Empire is governed by the Skyfire Emperor. They don't think it's okay to come here to make a fuss, and then go back if there is no result, right? He hastened. He took out the emergency magic communication tool and contacted the royal family of Yanjing, but found that the communication had failed. This shows that the other party has other means. It is possible that this area is blocked. Mountain and river map. No, the mountain and river map is a direct storage space, but there are many high-level powerhouses in Tianan province. Unless the mountain and river map is at the level of the 10th level magic weapon, it is absolutely impossible to successfully store it. That's the Sky Umbrella. It's possible. The Sky Umbrella can directly create a space maze to shield an area, and create corresponding illusions. Kai found out the clue, and it might be too late. Yan Chong's brain is running at high speed. What happened? At this time, he saw a young man walking out of the villa in front of him, talking with a beautiful girl. Lu Ning. When Yan Chong saw the boy, he couldn't help approaching him. Maybe it's the Sky Umbrella. And the one that cuts through the space is the 10th rank divine weapon, Tiankai sword. I saw the introduction of this divine weapon from the royal library. It is a weapon refined by a 10th rank sword emperor in ancient times. After hearing about it, The whole should be called Tiankai Shensho sword, but this sword has been broken into two halves, and the tip of the sword is at the Huang Empire. Quote, Yan Chong took the initiative to intervene in the conversation between Lu Ning and Xiao Xiao. This made the two feel that they were looking back at him. Royal family. Hearing this term, Lu Ning frowned subconsciously. The royal family sent someone to monitor him at the academy. Did Zhao? Don't get me wrong, my name is Yan Chong. Although I am a member of the royal family, unlike Yan Yang, he has already been removed from the position of imperial envoy by His Majesty because of his poor handling of affairs. So you are the new imperial envoy? No, I came to get acquainted with you purely for the purpose of making friends. Yan Chong paused, but replied directly. It seems that the royal family is as intricate as imagined. Lu Ning thought. Then what's the situation now? Why are there a large number of alien races invading Blue Star? Lu Ning raised his head and looked at the sky, his gaze sank. At the same time, in Tian'an City, the mages are actively guiding the residents into the refuge, and at the same time cleaning up the low-level beast tide. Maid, the president thinks that he didn't die fast enough. Aliens invade Blue Star. He dares to accept this kind of mission. I want to quit. Once this kind of scene is involved, I will definitely die. What's the hurry? Wait for the president's news. The key members of the Prisoner Dragon Guild gathered together and kept complaining. They knew that they came to Tian'an City this time to make a big ticket. Who would have thought it would be this big? The president has sent a message. We want us to take advantage of the chaos and go to Tian'an College to arrest a few people. Sure enough, it's still that Lu Ning. Couldn't the academy have thought of this? They hid Lu Ning, how do we catch it? The chaos of this scale will be noticed by the Yan Empire royal city in a short time. The strong men from other provinces of the Yan Empire surrounded from all directions, and they all died. Maybe that His Majesty Tianwo Emperor will take action himself. Where is all this nonsense coming from? It's not Lu Ning, it's just a few first graders. The speaker uttered a curse. Then give the guild backbone the basic information of the goal. It turned out to be He Lin, Kai Si, Tang Xuan, Lin Zhou, Xu Meimei and other 5 people who went out with Lu Ning to experience together before. The entire Tian'an College began to raise a magic shield, which is a large array of guards surrounding Tian'an College. It stands to reason that the students of Tian'an College should leave the hospital at this time to participate in the defense battle in the city. However, the situation in Tian'an City is somewhat special. There is almost no beast tide raging in the city, because this is the center of the entire Tian'an province, where nearly 70% of the high-level powerhouses in the Kainan province are gathered. In front of such a number of high-ranking powerhouses, ordinary beast hordes would not cause much confusion at all. The high-level powerhouses can easily solve it with a few high-level magic in turn. But Tian'an City is the most dangerous right now. For no other reason. Looking up, one can tell that the number of high-level monsters and high-level alien races is extremely large, and the high-level powerhouses of Tian'an province are fighting with them in the sky. With such a large number of high-level powerhouses fighting in a melee, the students of Tian'an College can't help at all, and may even be affected and unfortunately die. It's hard to say whether Yan Chong's guess is right, but it's true that the teleportation array in Tian'an province can't be used now. So let the students of Tian'an College leave Tian'an City to support other cities. There are too many uncertainties along the way. In addition, the invasion of Tian'an province by monsters and alien races was too sudden, and the first thing that the senior management of the college thought was to deal with it conservatively first, and then observe the situation. Ever since, the Tian'an College's nursing array was raised. This moment, at the training square of the college. The current situation is unknown, but you still have to prepare for battle. Waiting for the dean's order. In addition, there may be enemies who have sneaked into Tian'an College, so don't leave alone. Most of the students were gathered in the practice square. But with such a gathering, if a 9th-level Great Magister broke in, wouldn't he be able to catch us all? Some students felt that this behavior of gathering in the square was extremely bad, so they shouted loudly. That's not going to happen. It was Wang Shun, the teaching director of the college who spoke. Director Wang is an 8th-level magister, and he will stay at Tian'an College. Even if there was a 9th-level Great Magister who forcibly broke in, Director Wang could temporarily block it and let the students disperse. But that said, The students were still a little apprehensive. And some of them are ashamed of the fact that they are hiding in the academy as students of Tianan Academy, and want to go out to fight to prove themselves. No matter what the danger, our Tianan College students must go out and fight. That's right. If we hide in a safe academy this time, and wait until this crisis is over, how will the entire Tianan province view Tianan Academy, the training ground for cowards? By then, the prestige of Tianan College will plummet, and I am afraid that not many Tianan locals will take the college entrance examination in the coming year. I am a magician, why should I fight? They want to fight. Let's fight. With the shouting of one or two students, the emotions in the entire square were also detonated. They are all young people who are full of vigor, and they really don't have to be afraid of danger. This made Director Wang feel like he was riding a tiger. He was pleased with the performance of the students, but he couldn't let them leave the academy now. Stop arguing and follow the arrangement of the academy. At this time, a voice sounded. But they saw Lu Ning and Xiao Xiao leading Yan Chongzhang to the practice square. Lu Ning. It's Lu Ning. When everyone saw Lu Ning, the noisy square suddenly fell silent, as if the backbone had arrived. Director Wang glanced sideways at the approaching boy, his eyes flickered a little bit, and he didn't know what he was thinking. Really, these young brats only serve their peers who are stronger than them. Young people always feel that they can surpass their elders. Maybe they are not yet high level, so they can't see the gap between themselves and their elders, but they can understand the gap between themselves and their peers, because this is the level they are at now. They can personally experience the strength of Lu Ning, and subconsciously regard the latter as the backbone. Lu Ning not only achieved fame, but also prestige among the younger generation. Lu Ning, what do you say? After Lu Ning came over, someone asked. Lu Ning smiled, and then asked loudly to the students gathered in front of him, among you, is anyone betraying the academy? His question directly confused everyone, including Director Wang, who was about to speak. Thunderbolt Fruit ability, Hard Net. Although there is no matching domineering knowledge, the Thunder Fruit does have the ability similar to mind reading. But it is far from the real mind reading skills, but at certain times, it also has unexpected performances. At this time, Lu Ning unfolds the electric field of the thunderous fruit. By asking questions, he stimulates the hidden secrets of the person being questioned. If there is really someone who betrays BJAC, the academy, then when he asks a question, the memories in his mind will emerge uncontrollably for the first time, and then they will be restrained and hidden. In other words, Lu Ning's heart network can sense other people's brain waves to a certain extent. It is very difficult to read the completed memory picture, but some simple messages can be done. What? Is there a ghost among us? Someone screamed and looked towards the surrounding people. Finally, all eyes were on Qin Zhanfang and Sha Liu Liu. The faces of the two of them turned dark immediately, and they didn't know what to say for a while. Is it you? However, Lu Ning did not look at Qin Zhanfang and Sha Liu Liu. Instead, his body turned into a beam of lightning, rushing into the crowd at a speed that could not be covered by thunder. When he returned to his original position, he saw a second-year senior in his hand. Ren Gao, the second-year senior caught by Lu Ning, was recognized immediately. I'm not, Lu Ning is framing me. A student named Ren Gao yelled angrily. Director, it's up to you. Lu Ning would not have a meaningless quarrel with the other party, so he said something to Director Wang. The latter took a deep look at Lu Ning, then stretched out his right hand, and cast a fascination spell on Ren Gao. He is an 8th level magister and a 5th level mage. Even if the magic level is not high, he can easily catch it. Are you a spy? Ren Gao's eyes became dull and empty, and Lu Ning followed the trend and asked. Ren Gao murmured back. I was forced, they planted a magic restriction on me. Once I resist their will, the restriction will be activated immediately and I will die. What a spy. Hiss. How did Lu Ning find this out? Ren Gao, I never thought that you, with thick eyebrows and big eyes, would change me into Tianan College. It's so stupid, since it has been banned by magic. Do you think that if you do something, you will be lifted from the ban? Stop arguing, let Brother Lu continue to ask. There was restlessness among the students, and anger was growing. What do they want you to do? Lu Ning continued to ask. They want me to trick 5 people, He Lin, Kai Si, Tang Xuan, Lin Zhou, and Xu Meimei, out of the academy in advance. Except for Lin Zhou going out to practice, I invite the other 4 people to the Tianan Hotel, saying that there is something wrong. Negotiate with them. After hearing these 5 names, Lu Ning's eyes suddenly shrank. Prisoner Dragon Guild. But why? Isn't this matter coming to an end? Who among those 5 people are they looking at? All 5 were spotted. Lu Ning can't figure it out. What is the purpose of catching these 5 people? He wants to refine the 5 concentric demons. Lu Ning stopped asking questions, but said to Yan Chong, "Mr. Yan, please repeat the speculation you told me earlier to the director." Lu Ning, don't be impulsive. Director Wang thought of something and said quickly, "These 5 people have had a life and death relationship with me. Naturally, it is impossible to sit idly by." Lu Ning shook his head. He has to figure this out, otherwise it will be stabbed in his heart like a thorn, stimulating his thirst for knowledge from time to time, making him uncomfortable. No, although you have the talent of heaven, but the current situation. Before Director Wang finished speaking, Lu Ning interrupted. What, Director, how did you know that I have stepped into the 7th step? I obviously didn't tell anyone. Director Wang, have you stepped into the 7th step? His expression was stunned at first, and then he was overjoyed. What, Lu Ning is at the 7th level. I'm only at the 4th level. 7th rank, he is 7th rank. These words shocked all the students beyond words. Level 7, 18-year-old 7th order. Yang Yanmei's eyes widened in the crowd. She stared at the boy in front of her and recalled the scene she had encountered in the unified examination that day. And from then to now, it has only been 2 or 3 months. Lu Ning stopped talking nonsense. It is impossible to send an 8th level magister to catch those 5 people. Even if he is really an 8th level magister, he is confident that with his strength, he can escape calmly. At that moment, Lu Ning greeted Director Wang again, and then left the practice square. The large array of nursing homes allows people to leave but not to enter, so there is no obstacle to leaving the academy. At the same time, one more, the 5 high-ranking backbone members of the Prisoner Dragon Guild gathered together. Except for Lin Zhou, Kai Si, Xu Meimei, Helin and Tang Xuan were all subdued. Let's have one less, let's drive away separately. Hurry up and get out of here, the mission is done. Makes sense. Of the 5 key members, 4 of them took away 1 person each, and they were about to separate. It's just that these 5 people just looked back. Suddenly, a scene like a long river of lightning flashed on the ground in front of him, followed by a figure quickly formed by lightning, and finally turned into the appearance of Lu Ning. There's so much to like about the abilities of the Thunder Fruit. This is even more so with the application of body elementalization. Lu Ning can now develop an electric field about 3 kilometers away from Fang Yuan centered on him. Within the range of the electric field, he elementizes himself, and then he can reach the speed of teleportation by virtue of the electric field, and can appear anywhere within the range of the electric field. This is why Lu Ning dared to leave the academy to search. As long as his electric field can reach Kai Si and the others, then there will be time. Lu Ning. When the 5 key members of the Prisoner Dragon Guild saw the person coming, they took a step back in fright. They've all seen the battle scene where Lu Ning kills 7 people and 7 ranks in one blow. In addition, here is Tianan City. They subconsciously thought that since Lu Ning could appear here, it meant that some strong people from the academy had noticed them, so they suddenly became a little wary. This key member of the Prisoner Dragon Guild is at the 7th level. There is only Duan Tianliu at the 9th level of the Prisoner Dragon Guild, and the 9th level Great Magister is enough to become the overlord of a party. Guilds of this nature like the Prisoner Dragon Guild are at best cooperating in private. As for the number of 8 ranks, it is also very few. Just as Lu Ning thought, the other party did not send an 8th level powerhouse to capture Kai Si and the others. 7-fold summoning magic hyphenation point Corpse Mountain. I saw the right hand of a 7th order powerhouse on the other side suddenly pressed towards the ground. A giant magic circle suddenly rose from the ground, and then a disgusting mountain rose rapidly from the magic circle. That mountain was actually composed of countless corpses. As soon as this mountain appeared, there were all kinds of ghosts crying and howling wolves, and she turned into a strong wind and rolled out. Clatter. What made people lose their sand value was that the mountain of corpses suddenly became violent, and countless corpses cascaded down like raindrops. Walk. The key members of the Prisoner Dragon Guild didn't want to fight Lu Ning at all, they just wanted to delay the opponent for a while, and they took the opportunity to escape. Look at Lu Ning again. He pressed his right hand to his heart, and then slowly pulled out a purple Reitai sword. An ordinary wushang knife, but it's sevenfold magic. Lu Ning whispered softly, the dream in his hand slashed forward. Cut out with a knife. The purple thunderbolt roared violently, instantly killing the key members of Prison Dragon announcement in front of it, and the other party couldn't react at all, just like dust swept by a strong wind. And the knife didn't end. Surprisingly, like a spirit, the sword light bounced back and forth between the remaining 4 7th level backbone members, and within a few seconds, it instantly killed the 4 backbone members who were fleeing in different directions. This is General Raiden's ultimate move, Dream Truth. However, Lu Ning also combines 6 other different lightning abilities, including the lightning ejection skill in the state of thunder. Multiple magic is not difficult for Lu Ning at all. Except that the multiple magics he casts include non-thunder magic. Otherwise, all of his thunder moves are at the level of non-singing proficiency, and the spiritual imprint condensed by his own invincible belief is stronger than other people's connection with magic. After beheading the 5 people in front of him, Lu Ning glanced at his personal panel at this moment. Host: Lu Ning. Realm: 7th level. Total magic power: 5,045 million. Physique: 4,920. Talent: Lightning Apprentice, Wheel of Wishes, 100-eyed Wheel, Superior Armor Body. Ability moves: slightly. Weapon props: slightly. After the heart is demonized by a quarter, the blood flowing in the body also has the magic power attribute, which greatly excavates the dragon power in the body again, allowing the physical value to be improved. A jump is really a jump in the level of life. Coupled with the recent sign in rewards, the physique is about to break through 5,000. As for the total amount of magic power, Makuai's heart stores 10 million, and Liuku Shinfu plus abdomen store 5 million each. Just now Lu Ning used a total of 40 million mana to condense the Dream Yixin Thunder Saber, so there is only 5 million mana left in his body for the time being. However, such consumption can be completely ignored for Lu Ning. At this time, the 8 cores in his body moved together, sucking the power of the thunder element between heaven and earth. In just a few breaths, the total amount of his own magic power has been filled. If it broke out recklessly like in Tianju's secret realm before, Lu Ning feels that he can face the 8th level Magister, and he can also fight the opponent head-on. His current combat power has far surpassed the level of the 7th level. Below the 8th level, an absolutely invincible existence. Lu Ning still likes to use his magic power to fight. After he stepped into the 7th level, he could of course mobilize the elements between heaven and earth to perform magic and attack. It's just that in terms of mobilizing the elements of heaven and earth, he is not much better than other 7th order magisters, and at most it is equivalent to the magic value of 20 to 30 million in his body. That is to say, at the level of the 7th level, Lu Ning's physique and magic power reserve advantages still exist. But when it comes to the 8th and 9th levels, it's not so easy to say. Back then, the magic that General Bing Qijing used gave him the sense of horror that the whole world was against the enemy, and it still lingers in his heart, and it will not go away for a long time. Slap, slap. Lu Ning patted Kai Si's face and woke up. Lu Ning. After Kai Si was woken up, she immediately looked around her surroundings, but after seeing Lu Ning, she couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. The girl then regained her composure and analyzed. We were inexplicably attacked by 5 high-level powerhouses before. These people seem to be the same force as the ones who attacked us in the Yangwang Mountains before. I don't know. After she finished speaking, she looked at the 5 charred and inhuman corpses around her, and fell silent for a moment. Lu Ning killed those 5 high-ranking powerhouses. That's right, he was able to kill 7 7th level people in one go before, and he did have this strength. Lu Ning asked. Then did you hear that they arrested the 4 of you, or only one of you, and the other 3 were just a cover? Kai Si shook her head. Even if they talked about it, they had already lost consciousness at that time, so naturally they had no way of knowing. After hearing this, Lu Ning didn't ask any more questions, and woke up the other 3 people one by one. Wu, Lu Ning, did you come here to save me on purpose? I'm so happy, I'm really happy. Shu Meimei hugged Lu Ning exaggeratedly, tears streaming down her cheeks, and she shouted with a grieved and happy tone. Helin and Tang Xuan looked at each other, and they could see the expression of gratitude from each other's eyes. If Xu Meimei didn't take the lead, they both wanted to hug Lu Ning. Thunder illusion body. At this moment, Lu Ning separated his two Lei Huan bodies, and said to Kai Si. Now you follow my magic avatar back to the academy, where it is relatively safe. How about you? Kai Si and Xu Meimei asked in unison. Don't worry, no matter how arrogant I am, I won't be able to intervene in the battle above. Lu Ning pointed to the sky. The sky is about to turn into a rainbow color, and various powerful high-level magics are bombarding each other in the sky. If it weren't for some powerful people on our side deliberately controlling the power of magic so that it doesn't spread below, I'm afraid the entire Tianan city would be overturned and turned into ruins. That is not a battlefield that Lu Ning can step into now, he will not die to that extent. I'm going to other cities in Tianan province to help the high-level powerhouses in each city resist the tide of monsters. Just in time. There are some new moves to test their power. After Lu Ning finished speaking, there was a little expectation on his face. His retreat this time has gained a lot, especially the aspect of multi-magic, which allows him to integrate his own lightning-type ability moves and create new moves. Then, be careful then. Xu Meimei said something worried. Lu Ning hummed lightly, and then simply left. After he left, the two Lei Huan bodies led the four of them towards the academy. Halfway through, Xu Meimei suddenly asked Kai Si, do you like Lu Ning too? Ah, Kai Si was startled, and then her face became fierce, and she shouted, what are you talking about? What time is it? Can you stop committing your nympho disease again? Xu Meimei shrank her neck fiercely. Helin and Tang Xuan touched their noses, pretending not to hear. They have no doubt. Now it is impossible to catch a group of girls from Tianan College and say that they all have thoughts about Lu Ning. But if one of them says they have an idea, there will definitely be something missed. Lu Ning is so bright, with countless auras, how can the same age and the opposite gender not be admired? It's just that because Lu Ning's level is too high, most people feel inferior and dare not take the initiative to contact him. Los Angeles, number 1 middle school. Every middle school has a magic circle, and the higher authorities have decided to introduce part of the beast tide into the school. This is an inviolable order. In the underground refuge of the school, a school leader shouted anxiously at a group of immature-faced students. There is not much time left, so come out immediately, leave the school, and go to the shelter in the city. The higher-ups are going to abandon the school and use the school's magic circle to wipe out the beast hordes. After the school leaders finished speaking, they immediately asked the teachers to lead the students out of the refuge in an orderly manner. The students all looked terrified, but luckily it didn't cause any confusion. Thunderbolt. Teacher Wang. A thunder roared, and immediately a cluster of lightning fell from the sky and landed in front of everyone. Lu Ning. Teacher Wang, who used to be Lu Ning's class teacher, immediately rolled his eyes when he saw the person coming, as if he was uncertain. It's Senior Lu Ning. Senior Lu Ning is here to save us. Senior Lu Ning is really a student of my Los Angeles No. 1 middle school. The appearance of Lu Ning is no less than a shot in the arm, making the students cheer and subconsciously forget their fear. Student Lu Ning. The school leader looked at Lu Ning, was stunned for a moment, and then immediately asked, does Tianan College have any new instructions? Lu Ning nodded. Well, Tianan College sent me to support the fight against the beast horde in every city except Tianan City. He said it so easily. On the contrary, he couldn't fix the school leaders. The school leader looked behind Lu Ning. There are no mages and experts from other colleges here. Lu Ning glanced at the group of juniors and juniors in front of him. With a thought at the moment, the dragon-shaped armor of destiny covered the whole body. His extraordinary armor form directly made the eyes of all the boys sparkle. Since the armor of destiny absorbed Lu Ning's dragon power, it has always existed in the form of a dragon armor. Thunderbolt. Lu Ning then cast Sikong Shock War. 10 times the increase, full up. The total amount of mana in his body broke through to 450 million in an instant. The advantage of Thunderbolt is that it has a stable 10-fold increase, but the disadvantage is that it is only 10 times, and it cannot be controlled in the range of 1 to 10 times. 450 million total mana. In this state, Lu Ning's own endurance is almost approaching the limit state. 7th layer of magic Long Slayer Profound Art Lei Juishan Dragon Star Group. Look at Lu Ning again. He gathered a ball of thunder light in his hands, and then shot it straight into the sky like Kamehei Qigong. The thunder turned into a beam of light and shot straight into the sky. Immediately afterwards, it turned into an extremely huge oriental dragon. The dragon was condensed by the purest magic power, and it cost Lu Ning a full 400 million magic power. The size of this dragon, inflated to thousands of meters. Just for a moment, everyone raised their heads to look at the thunder dragon high in the sky, their expressions extremely horrified. The school leader opened his mouth wide in shock, as if he could stuff a big brother egg. And those immature students seemed to have been petrified at this time, as if they were watching a kind of miracle born in the world. What is that? Brontosaurus. Is this the enemy's magic attack? Wait, I don't feel the will to attack us from this Brontosaurus. At the same time, in Luo City, countless mages who were fighting the beast tide raised their heads one after another, their eyes full of horror. At this moment, most of the 8th level powerhouses in Tianan province are held back by high-level monsters and high-level aliens. The opponents are prepared to come, so that the 8th level and 9th level powerhouses have nothing to do. Even Dean Lu Qingye was held back by Duan Tianliu somewhere at this time. The thunder dragon was hovering high in the sky, while Lu Ning jumped forward with a pair of dragon wings spread out behind his back, his body transformed into a streamer, and then landed steadily on the thunder dragon's head. Only then did the Brontosaurus really begin to move in the sky. Every time it moves, a thunder dragon with a size of 100 meters will drop from thunder dragon and fall downward. Lu Ning overlooked the city of Los Angeles below, controlling the power with extreme precision. Every 100-meter Brontosaurus precisely hit the hordes of beasts below, instantly vaporizing tens of thousands of mid- and low-level hordes of beasts. In the eyes of all, at this time, the sky in Los Angeles seemed to be raining thunder and dragons. Countless 100-meter Brontosaurs fell densely like stars. By the time they reacted, the beast hordes in the entire Los Angeles city had been cleared up, and the remaining ones could no longer pose any threat. But the giant thunder dragon in the sky did not disappear, but continued to fly towards the city next to Los Angeles. In a moment, they saw the magnificent scene again. Thunder dragon rain. Look, there's someone on the thunder dragon. Wearing armor. Don't tell me. That's right, it's him, that's him, the Weijiao evildoer of our Tianan province, Lu Ning. That's the armor of destiny. I was lucky enough to see it in the Tianju secret realm before. Lu Ning, how did he become so powerful? This kind of magic is too outrageous. The precise bombing of the beast swarm will not even affect us. It only takes a few minutes to solve the crisis of the beast swarm in a city. Even if you are an 8th level magister, you can't do this. That's Lu Ning. At the 6th level, he can kill 7 monsters at the 7th level in seconds. As Lu Ning solved the animal crisis in one city after another, his figure was naturally recognized by others. For Lu Ning, now the 8th step is a bit abstract, but the method and efficiency of crushing the same level or even the middle and low level, he is even better than the 8th level. The combination of Lu Ning's own characteristics, it is destined that this guy can explode to the limit and kill powerful enemies at the top, and can climb to the throne of the god of war at the bottom. Masochistic dishes also need to pay attention to technology. On the one hand, mobilize the power of the thunder element between heaven and earth, on the other hand rely on one's own resilience, and on the other hand rely on the talent wheel of 100 Eyes of Wishes. The move of Lei Juishan Dragon Star Group is enough to last for a long time. Lu Ning calculated his own consumption and came to a conclusion. Dragon Slayer Profound Truth is not limited to one form of moves. In addition to the Lei Juishan Dragon Star Group just cast by Lu Ning, there are naturally other improved or strengthened Dragon Slayer mysteries. The Dragon Star Group focuses on range attacks and lacks single target damage, but it is exactly suitable for the current situation. The entire Tianan city, except for the border town, does not need Lu Ning. In the remaining 33 cities, Lu Ning was almost eliminating the Sea Star Beast horde at a speed visible to the naked eye. At this time, Tianan City is high in the sky. A large number of high-level powerhouses fought fiercely together, and the scene was chaotic and fierce, and the sky was turned upside down. And suddenly at a certain moment, These high-ranking powerhouses stopped their offensive all at once, and headed down. Fang took a look. Auxiliary magic like clairvoyance is not a novelty magic for high-level bosses. Their gazes pierced through the clouds and landed on the armored figure on the thunder dragon below. That human monster, Lu Ning. This kid has stepped into a high-level level. This level of magic momentum is not weaker than the 8th level. Could it be that he is already at the 8th level? Impossible. If it was the 8th level, I would have come here long ago. Quote, quote. The foreign powerhouses were all surprised, feeling the almost substantial threat emanating from Lu Ning. Lu Ning understands the animal horde crisis in most cities. Good boy. Ha ha. Yes, this is my Tianan Tianzhao. On the contrary, when Tianan's own powerful boss noticed Lu Ning, he was surprised at first, and then naturally he was surprised again and again. Lu Ning stepped into a high level. This means that Lu Ning has half a foot into the real strong level, and is no longer limited to the scope of Tianzhao's Jr. Nonsense. But Vice President Yun frowned. The more so, the more he had to keep a low profile and hide his sword in his body. Showing his strength in front of such a large number of high-ranking aliens now, isn't it clear that he wants the strong aliens to kill him and then hurry up? Especially in this situation, high-level monsters join forces with alien races to invade the Tianan province. This is already an endless situation, and the other party will inevitably kill all threats. This son is so terrifying, he must not stay. Sure enough, a strong foreigner shouted and was about to attack Lu Ning below. That is a high-level monster powerhouse, Nine-Headed Owl, the 9th-level monster king. I saw the body of the nine-headed owl in the human form suddenly trembled. It turned into a terrifying monster with a size of a kilometer, and it had 9 ferocious heads. 9 swirls divine light. He followed hundreds of kilometers away and shot directly at Lu Ning, his momentum reaching the extreme. The 9 owl heads all opened their mouths and each sprayed out a beam of light, then gathered at one place, turned into a 9-colored divine light, and shot straight towards the road guard. The holy face of the white tiger. Roar. But the 9-color divine light hadn't shot very far, and an earth-shattering roar of a tiger exploded out of thin air, followed by a giant holy beast white tiger with endless murderous aura lingering all over its body. It appeared and blocked the 9-color divine light. Bai Shui. When the 9-headed owl saw this, the 9 owl heads revealed a humanized look of ferocious hatred at the same time. Bai Shui. You villain. Willing to surrender to humans is simply a disgrace to my Warcraft family. He was full of hatred and cursed constantly. 9 layers of magic, heaven-moving wind and thunder. What responded to 9-headed owl was Bai Shui's merciless attack. Dixacarb is special. She has the bloodline power of the holy beast white tiger in her body, which makes her combat power beyond the ordinary 8th rank. In addition, she has a very high understanding of magic, and is good at wind and thunder magic. At the 8th level, she can master the 9-fold magic that can only be mastered at the 9th level, which is enough to show her own high level of comprehension. Because of the appearance of Bexacarb, the strong fight in the sky once again opened the knife. Why Tianan? In the practice square of Tianan College, Yan Chong lowered his head and thought deeply. He couldn't figure it out at this moment. The opponent's purpose is too vague. Could it be a feint? Let the high-ranking powerhouses from other provinces of the Yan Empire come to support, to divert the tiger away from the mountain and then attack other Xingxia. How long has it been? Yan Chong suddenly asked Director Wang next to him. Director Wang's expression was also uncertain, and he replied in a deep voice, "It's been almost an hour." This is unreasonable. It's been almost an hour. Even if the other high-ranking powerhouses didn't notice it, couldn't the Skyfire Emperor discover the abnormality? And if it is really as I imagined, the entire Tianan province of nearly 500,000 square kilometers Fang Yuan will be covered by a sky-shattering umbrella. But once discovered, the mission umbrella can't stop the high-level outsiders at all. Lu Ning is back. Just then, someone shouted. The figure of Lu Ning appeared in the cultivation square. He first confirmed that Kaisi and the others were fine, and then said to Director Wang, "The beast tied in Tianan province is already under control, and it won't cause too many casualties." Director Wang nodded, just took a deep look at Lu Ning, and didn't say much. The support hasn't arrived yet. Does Mr. Yan have any clues? Lu Ning then looked at Yan Chong. Yan Chong shook his head with an ugly expression. This invasion may not be as simple as it appears on the surface. He said a nonsense. Lu Ning walked aside, and while he was recovering, he looked towards the high-altitude battle. Some high-level powerhouses have already fallen. The high-altitude battlefield is the top high-end round of the 8th rank and above, and there is absolutely no room for him to intervene. 567. Is there anything special about Tianan province? After a while, Lu Ning came back and asked Shang Yanchong again. As far as I know, there is nothing special about it, except that it is close to the frontier, and its overall strength and development are stronger than other provinces, but in terms of overall strength, it ranks third among the 18 provinces of the Payan Empire. When Yan Chong said this, his eyes fell on Lu Ning. If you want to say something special, it's you, and the first dean of your academy, Senior Bai Ruyanbai. Talking about the first dean, Lu Ning couldn't help being interested, and hurriedly asked, "Tell me about Dean Bai. I didn't pay much attention to it in the academy." In fact, it's not that I didn't pay attention. It's just that there are very few records about the first dean. It is only said that she founded Tianan Academy in her early 20s and became the 10th Magic Academy of Wangda Empire 500 years ago. That's even arguably yes. With the founding of Tianan College, people successively established magic schools, which gradually evolved into the phenomenon of magic for all people. When talking about Bai Ruyan, everyone said that she was the proud and strange woman of that era. Yan Chong hesitated for a moment, then waved his right hand and cast a soundproof magic. Then he said, "Regarding Dean Bai, Wang Cheng strictly forbids talking about it, but because of her outstanding contribution to the popularization of magic in later generations, she is allowed to retain the name of the first dean of Tianan College. But if it's Lu Ning, you are naturally qualified to know. I don't think Wang Cheng will make a fuss about this kind of thing." There is also Director Wang in the soundproof magic. The clever Yanchong wanted the director to witness that what he said next was not false. Did Dean Bai violate some kind of rule? His words made Lu Ning even more curious. It's a contradiction of the times. Yan Chong breathed a sigh of relief, and then continued to speak eloquently. Lu Ning was curious at first, but gradually his expression changed, and he listened very seriously. Bai Ruyan was born in an aristocratic family, and his father was a military family of the Yan Empire at that time. She has shown a strong magical talent since she was a child. At the age of 16, he had already emerged and won the first place in Wangcheng's Young Genius competition. At that time, magic could only be cultivated by the upper-class nobles, and the people below had no chance to learn magic at all. At the age of 16, Bai Ruyan had reached the 6th rank. The following year, she stepped into the 7th rank and became a high-level mage. In the era 500 years ago, the three empires had constant friction and wars broke out frequently. Bai Ruyan, who was born in a military family, took advantage of the opportunity to join the military career. In the battle against the other two great empires, Bai Ruyan set a proud record of annihilating 200,000 enemies from the army of the Huang Empire. The nickname of Yan Empire Valkyrie was also obtained because of this. The war between the three empires continued, and Bai Ruyan led the army for 3 years. At the age of 20, she had entered the 8th stage early. In the same year, together with the space cracks of the relic continent appeared on Blue Star, the war was suspended. Times are changing. At that time, Kungxing Dylan Kungxing, who was still a 9th-level Great Magister, had begun to travel all over the world, inviting people with lofty ideals to establish the Global Magic Association, aiming to break the monopoly of the three empires on magic. Lin Kungxing wants to popularize the power of learning magic to the general public and increase the number of Blue Star mages in order to deal with the possible dangers that may exist in the Ruins continent in the future. It is Kungxingdi who shakes the changing situation of the times. But for this reason, he stepped on the accelerator, but it was as white as smoke. In the same year, relying on the prestige she accumulated in the military, she forcibly established Tianan College in Tianan Province. This move was naturally opposed by all the nobles of the Yan Empire at that time, including Bai Ruyan's family. Yan Chong continued, but because of the support of Emperor Kungxing, although Tianan College's enrollment and teaching are difficult, they are progressing little by little. The real change happened 5 years after Dean Bai founded Tianan Academy. At that time, several magic academies around the world had been established one after another. Extremely fierce conflict broke out between the ordinary people who supported the Magic Academy and the imperial aristocracy. When Bai Ruyan was 25 years old, she had already stepped into the 9th rank of a great magister, and obtained 5 kinds of sequence magic and a large number of ancient magic books from the secret realm in the Ruins continent. Having said that, Yan Chong paused. What happened later? Lu Ning continued to ask. Bai Ruyan almost wiped out the aristocratic class of the 3 empires by herself. Her combat power is too terrifying. The opponent, who is also a 9th level great magister, is not her opponent at all. She can even fight against all of them. Cannot fall behind. Lu Ning became a little silent after hearing this. 25 years old, level 9. And also has the combat power to crush the same level. Isn't this really Feng Aotian? Feng 21. The first dean is the same peerless figure as that Feng 21. Lu Ning took a sharp breath. But why didn't a character like Bai Ruyan leave a strong mark in history? If you take her as the upper limit of Tianzhou, although the deceased is the greatest, but to be honest, with Bai Ruyan in front, what qualifications does Zhang Tianxi have to be called the strongest arrogance of the generation? Bai Ruyan scared the aristocracy, and at that time, the magic association of the Star Emperors gradually grew in size and became her powerful helper. The two of them worked together to promote the development of magic schools around the world. At that time, no one thought that the Star Emperor would be able to step into the 10th rank and become Blue Star's 4th magic emperor, but they all thought that it would be Bai Ruyan, a peerless woman. But at the age of 26, Bai Ruyan suddenly disappeared. The story about her ends here. Her death was announced 100 years after Bai Ruyan disappeared. Because she killed the aristocratic class of the 3 empires, including the royal families of the 3 empires, this short-lived arrogant woman is not allowed to be talked about by future generations, and she is only allowed to be the first generation. The name of the dean is in Tian'an College. Yan Chong added, this is what the Star Emperor fought for after he became the Magic Emperor. When did the Star Emperor become the Magic Emperor? Lu Ning continued to ask. Yan Chong shook his head, and said with a smile, there are many unofficial stories about Bai Ruyan, among them are about her and the Star Emperor, but they are all aimless and unbelievable. What he meant was to vaguely remind Lu Ning not to pay attention to the matter between Emperor Kungxing and Bai Ruyan. Lu Ning then looked at Director Wang and saw that he nodded, so he knew that Yan Chong hadn't added any embellishments. 25 years old, level 9, don't you think it's outrageous? Thinking of this suddenly, Lu Ning laughed. This time, Director Wang simply explained. That era was the era of the magic explosion, because together with the relic continent, various rare secret realms were discovered, there were also various precious magic materials, and the inheritance of sequence magic and so on. The mages of that era, as long as they dared to take risks in the Ruins continent, basically as long as they were alive, they could get a great improvement in a short period of time. The 9th level at the age of 25 is indeed an exaggeration, but there were quite a few 8th level magisters who were less than 30 years old in that era. All in all, is it standing on the cusp of the storm and eating the magic inheritance bonus left by the human magic civilization in the Ruins continent. Speaking of which, Lu Ning still wants to continue to ask something. Suddenly, I felt that I was being hooped by an invisible hand. The power of space. He was startled, and he was no stranger to such a sense. He then looked at the others and found that both Director Wang and Yan Chong were shocked. Not good. It's a forced transmission. Moreover, we have precisely selected high-level mages of level 7 and above. Yan Chong shouted. Then he immediately shouted, those who can do this. Before he finished speaking, he was teleported away, leaving with him Lu Ning and all the high-ranking powerhouses in Tian'an City area. It also includes high-level monsters and high-level aliens. At the same time, the figure of Duan Tianliu, the president of the Prisoner Dragon Guild, appeared in Tian'an College. He was covering his right face with his right hand. There were only 3 fingers left on his right hand, which originally had 4 fingers. On his left cheek, there was a mouthful of sharp teeth, which was chewing up and down. Then the mouth uttered a happy contentment. It's really an endless aftertaste, and your magic talent in the space department is really unforgettable. Stop talking nonsense. Duan Tianliu let out a low growl, and then he teleported through space again and disappeared in place. Ground floor, Tian'an University. There is a small secret world that is completely isolated from the outside world, hidden underground. And there are only 3 people who know the existence of the small world of the secret realm. They are Dean Lu Qingya and Bai Ruyan's 2 former beasts, Bai Shui and Qianyan. This secret small world space is only 500 square meters. In the center of this small space, there is a crystal coffin. Inside the crystal coffin lay a peerless white-haired beauty with an overwhelming appearance. White as smoke, Duan Tianliu looked at the corpse in the coffin with a dazed expression for a moment. What lay in the coffin was Bai Ruyan's corpse, but her face is 90% similar to that of Bai Shui. The only difference is that the latter's beautiful face is a bit young girl, lacking a lot of maturity. Hey, it turned out to be a body of ice muscle and jade bone. This means that half of her foot has stepped into the 10th level. If it wasn't for that insidious guy making trouble, hey. The mouth on Duan Tianliu's left face kept laughing strangely. Duan Tianliu's silent expression changed, his eyes sharpened, and then with a wave of his right hand, he took away the crystal coffin containing Bai Ruyan's body. Immediately afterwards, it is to teleport away from here again. But at this moment, stretching between the sky and the earth, a terrifying hand covering tens of thousands of meters appeared, tearing apart the space. The big hand that covers the sky is like a scorching sun, filled with endless flames, baking the world. Skyfire Emperor. Did it take too long to deal with Lu Qingya? Duan Tianliu gritted his teeth, broke off a finger again, and put it into the mouth on the cheek. Woohoo! The mouth screamed strangely. Heavenly demons, earth ghosts seal the formation. Ha 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 ha. The mouth continued to laugh wildly, and a large amount of sobbing and resentment spewed out from the mouth, and countless ghost-like ghosts gushed out. As soon as those ghosts appeared, they sacrificed themselves, sealed the space here, and let the big hand grabbing the sky-covering flames suddenly stop. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Duan Tianliu escaped into the mezzanine of the space, and it was difficult to find him again. Yan Empire, Yanjing, Tiancheng. On the throne of the royal palace, a majestic middle-aged man wearing an imperial crown and a red imperial robe is looking down at his right hand at the moment, frowning slightly. Disasters from the south of the sky come and go quickly. All the high-level powerhouses in Tianan City have disappeared. Unless the Magic Emperor takes action, it is absolutely impossible to kill such a number of high-level powerhouses. Don't worry for now, it's just a trick, compared to this. Support came from other provinces. It's just that the quantity seems to be unsatisfactory. The students of Tianan College gathered in the practice square, but they were not told to leave. After a while, a 9th-rank powerhouse from another province came to the cultivation square. The old man knows that you are very confused about what happened to Tianan, but from the current point of view, the attack on Tianan is just a fake government. We have received news that Blue Star's Yandi City, Qiandi City, and Wangdi City in the Ruins continent were all suddenly attacked by alien races and monsters at the same time. The situation over there is extremely severe. His Majesty has personally ordered to hold Yandi City at all costs. You are the most outstanding young generation of the Empire. You must obey the arrangement of the 4th level and above, and enter the Ruins continent one by one to help Yandi City. With the end of the words of this 9th-rank powerhouse, only then did Xiao Xiao and other college students realize that the real big event did not happen in Tianan province. The 3 imperial cities were built by Blue Star with hundreds of years of hard work, and they are the foothold in the Ruins continent. If it is destroyed by the alien race and the army of Warcraft and loses its foothold, it may not be so easy to gain a foothold again. Yes, there are 4 magic emperors on Blue Star, but there are also those from the other races. The curtain of the real era can be regarded as really opened. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.